Chapter 29:17. Thank you, Master Tan. The disciple thanked him profusely and left, leaving Qikuan pacing back and forth in the room, waiting for old Zhao and the others to come back. The reason why old Zhao wasn't home was because he had an appointment with a few important people today, and he was having a secret meeting in House Yu's meeting room. Ever since Qikuan was taken away by Lin Yi, old Zhao had been restless. If Lin Yi dared to kill him, then he could only watch. With such a dangerous hidden danger, old Master Zhao definitely couldn't let him wander around in front of his eyes. When the news of Qikuan passing the test came back, old Zhao felt like it was the end of the world. Qikuan was home, and with Lin Yi behind him, what was he going to do? If Lin Yi wanted Qikuan to be the head of the house, forcing him to step down, forcing Qibing to give up, what was he going to do? And so, Elder Zhao finally couldn't hold it in any longer. He sent invitations to the hidden houses and sects that had a grudge against Lin Yi, to discuss how to get rid of Lin Yi. Old Zhao invited the Hidden House Yu, Qianshan sect, Jinzhong sect, and the Firewolves. These were all houses and sects that hated Lin Yi, but the Hidden House Yu didn't come. Old Zhao knew that the Hidden House Yu wouldn't come, but he didn't think much of it. He just thought that House Yu and House Zhao were at odds because of Qibing and Yuning, so they didn't want to participate in the secret meeting. In fact, when old Yu saw the words "fight Lin Yi" together on the invitation, he threw it away. He didn't want to inform Lin Yi, but he had no interest in participating. Unknowingly, Elder Yu had already started to adjust the Hidden House Yu's future plans, especially after Yuning's incident. Elder Yu's attitude towards Lin Yi had changed a little. Of course, old Zhao didn't know about this. In the meeting room, other than old Zhao, there was old Yu of the Hidden House Yu, Qianshan sect's Master Wei, Jinzhong sect's Master Jin, and Firewolves and Mingyue. The reason why the meeting was held at House Yu was because the last Hidden House meeting was held at House Zhao, so this time it was a different place. Qianshan sect and Jinzhong sect were both in the mountains, and it wasn't easy to get in. And Mingyue of the Fire Wolves was only the person in charge of Donghai City, and she didn't have a headquarters. So, the Hidden House was the best place for the meeting. Both the Qianshan sect and the Golden Clock sect hated Lin Yi to the bone, and they couldn't wait to kill Lin Yi for revenge. Whether it was the Wei sect's master or the Jin sect's master, all of their important figures had died in Lin Yi's hands, especially the Qianshan sect's spirit beast. The Firewolves, on the other hand, wanted to kill Lin Yi, so Mingyue came here without hesitation. As for the Hidden House Yu, they wanted Zhang Liju's notes. If Lin Yi died, then Han Jingjing would be easy to deal with. As long as Right Coiling Tiger could get Han Jingjing, everything would be solved. The problem was that if Lin Yi didn't die, Han Jingjing wouldn't accept Right Coiling Tiger. So, these people could be said to be working together. Old Zhao, you're the one who started the meeting to kill Lin Yi. Tell us, do you have a way to deal with Lin Yi? Master Wu asked impatiently. If he had the strength, he would have killed Lin Yi a long time ago. If I had a way, I wouldn't have gathered everyone here. Elder Zhao sighed with a bitter smile. The main reason I'm here is to get everyone to brainstorm and see if there's any way we can get rid of Lin Yi. As everyone knows, Lin Yi's strength is getting stronger and stronger. If we don't do it now, then we won't have another chance in the future. Back then, during the Hidden House Summit, it was a golden opportunity, but we missed it. Old Zhao, if you didn't fight with House Yu's old Yu, our plan would have succeeded. We can't blame anyone else for this. Old Yu interrupted faintly. Forget it, let's not talk about this. Old Yu, do you have a good idea? Old Master Zhao narrowed his eyes and looked at Old Master Yu, who interrupted. Since Old Master Yu is so anxious, you must have a well-thought-out plan. Don't talk about useless things. I'm a Sky class, but I'm only a refiner. In terms of fighting, I'm not even an Earth class. What can I do? Old Yu humphed coldly. Okay, stop arguing. We're here to discuss important matters, not to argue. Let's talk one by one. Gate Master Jin waved his hand and stopped the two from arguing. Our Golden Bell Gate is declining day by day, and this is all thanks to Lin Yi. There's nothing else we can offer. Everyone knew that Gate Master Jin was telling the truth. Jin Wudi was dead, and so were a few of the best disciples of Golden Bell Gate. Golden Bell Gate was just an empty shell, and they couldn't rely on him. If Lin Yi has a spirit beast, I can control it for a short period of time so that it won't attack us. Our Qianshan Gate has a secret technique that can make a spirit beast lose its strength in a short period of time. Gate Master was said. That's right, Gate Master was idea is very useful. Lin Yi has a spirit beast by his side and we have to be on guard. Old Zhao nodded in agreement. Mr. N, do you have any suggestions? I think that Gate Master was suggestion reminds me. Can we poison Lin Yi? As far as I know, if we want to fight with Lin Yi head-on, all of us together are no match for Lin Yi. And Mingyue said, we're just going to die if we go. If we can poison Lin Yi and win with our wits, that's the way of the king. That makes sense. Old Zhao nodded in agreement. We are indeed no match for Lin Yi but poison. I heard that Lin Yi is also a medical expert. Our king pharmacist is no match for him. Hee, what's your king pharmacist? Old Yu said with some disdain, your king pharmacist is nothing in the eyes of our hidden Yu family. Chapter 29:18. Lin Yi can cure normal poisons, but what about special ones? After I go back, I can contact the Sky Elixir sect and use some special poisons to poison Lin Yi. No matter how good Lin Yi is, it'll be useless. Old Yu said confidently. Oh, that's great. Old Zhao heard this and didn't feel unhappy at all. He said happily, then I'll leave this to you, Old Yu. Don't be happy too early. Old Yu waved his hand. It's not hard to get the poison, but how do you make Lin Yi eat it? Old Zhao realized that this was indeed a difficult problem because he didn't have a chance. It was fine during the Hidden House Summit, but now he had to invite Lin Yi for a meal? It would be weird if Lin Yi didn't have his guard up. I'll leave this to you, Old Zhao. I'll think of something about the poison and you guys think of something else. Old Yu said. What kind of excuse do we use to invite Lin Yi for Lin Yi to come? Old Zhao started thinking about how to poison Lin Yi. Right, I say, Old Zhao, that Zhao Qikuan from your house, isn't he Lin Yi's follower? If he invites Lin Yi, he should come, right? And Mingyue spoke up. This old bastard was as mean as Jianghu, always doing immoral things. One of them was the same as the other. That's true, but Zhao Qikuan is on Lin Yi's side. If I ask him to harm Lin Yi, he won't agree for sure. He might even leak the secret. Old Zhao shook his head. I say, Old Zhao, can't you be flexible? You can find an excuse and trick that Zhao Qikuan into inviting Lin Yi for a meal, right? And Mingyue suggested. Oh. After Lord Zhao heard in Mingyue's words, his eyes immediately lit up and he said, you really woke me up with a single word. This time, Zhao Qikuan passed the test smoothly, and I can hint to him that my thoughts have changed. I'm interested in making him the head of the house, and have him invite Lin Yi over to discuss this in detail. What do you guys think? Good idea. This way Zhao Qikuan won't suspect anything. You've invited Lin Yi for a reason as well. Zhao Qikuan won't suspect anything and Lin Yi won't suspect anything either. When the time comes, we'll just have to figure out how to drug it. Well, clapped. Haha, in that case I'll go talk to Zhao Qikuan when I get back. Elder Zhao sighed in relief after deciding on the plan. Then let's end the meeting here. We'll do our own research and when the time comes we'll give Lin Yi a fatal blow. After everyone left, Old Man Yu went to contact the Heavenly Elixir sect. He was very enthusiastic about killing Lin Yi. If Lin Yi was dead, Han Jingjing's matter would be easy to handle. The Yu family had always had this idea. After so many years of working behind the Heavenly Elixir sect, they had long wanted to enter the ancient level. Of course, the Yu family's current strength was not enough. There were too few heaven rank experts. If House Yu's alchemy skills improved by leaps and bounds, then who could stop them from reaching the ancient level? However, it was impossible to rely on Sky Elixir sect's help. Not to mention that Sky Elixir sect wouldn't impart their alchemy skills without reservation. Even if House Yu learned these skills, they weren't willing to see House Yu grow and become an existence on equal footing with Sky Elixir sect. Therefore, if House Yu wanted to advance, they could only accumulate their own strength and think of their own ways. The alchemist's notes in Lin Yi's hands was the best opportunity. If they got it, although House Yu's strength wouldn't increase much in recent years, as time went by, House Yu would become stronger and stronger. Therefore, in order to prevent Sky Elixir sect from being afraid, Old Yu didn't directly contact Sky Silkworm transformation. Instead, he contacted Sky Elixir sect's 8th elder, Kong Ming Ming. Old Yu also knew that Kong Ming Ming and Lin Yi had a grudge. At this moment, Sky Elixir sect's trial had just ended. Kong Ming Ming was discussing alchemy matters in Ancestor Xuanshen's room. Master, currently, the Sky Elixir sect's futures pills are only the Qi-gathering pill that we promised to give to Lin Yi, the Qi-gathering pill that Dark Knight Palace wants in this trial, and the bone-cleansing pill that Everyday sect wants. Kong Ming Ming said, what's the order of refining these pills? Also, who's going to refine them? Only you can refine the bone-cleansing pill. No one else can refine it. However, we have to give Lin Yi an extreme Qi-gathering pill to pretend to be a Qi-gathering pill. This is a secret and only the two of us know about it. Therefore, only you can refine this pill. As for the Qi-gathering pill, I can let Shenzhen or the other elders of Sky Elixir sect refine it. Ancestor Shenzhen said after some thought. Then I of the two pills in my hands, which one should I refine first? Kong Ming Ming nodded and asked. The 2 pills you have and the one from Everyday and Everyday sect have nothing to do with our future plans. We're just giving them face. You should refine Lin Yi's extreme chi gathering pill first. Cripple Lin Yi first. This kid is always loitering in front of me. I feel uneasy. Ancestor Xianxin said. Yes, master. Kong Ming Ming was overjoyed. He actually wanted to deal with Lin Yi, but he didn't have the right to make a decision on such a big matter. He could only wait for Ancestor Xuanxin's instructions. Kong Ming Ming had just finished speaking when his phone rang. He was shocked. He took out his phone and was about to hang up when he hurriedly explained, Master, I was in a hurry and forgot to turn off my phone. Who called? Ancestor Xianxin waved his hand and asked indifferently, You answer it. This is the Hidden You family? Kong Ming Ming glanced at the caller ID and was stunned. He had the phone number of the Hidden You family, but he didn't know why they called. Kong Ming Ming wasn't particularly familiar with the Hidden You family. Oh, ask him what's the matter? Ancestor Xianxin said. Okay, master. Kong Ming Ming nodded and picked up the phone. Hello? I'm Kong Ming Ming. Elder Kong, I'm the family master of the Hidden You family. Elder Yu said carefully and respectfully. Kong Ming Ming's status was not the same as before. He naturally had to be careful. It's Elder Yu. What's the matter? Kong Ming Ming greeted him. Chapter 29:19. Say it, it's fine. Although Kong Ming Ming didn't know what Elder Yu wanted to say, in front of Elder Xianxin, Kong Ming couldn't say that it was inconvenient. Wouldn't that mean that he had something to hide from Elder Xianxin? So Kong Ming Ming could only say that it was fine. It's like this, Elder Kong, I heard that you have a grudge with Lin Yi? Elder Yu asked. What do you mean? What do you want to say? Kong Ming Ming's nerves tightened as he asked in a deep voice. Elder Kong, I just want to say that now, there is an opportunity to kill Lin Yi. Elder Yu heard that Kong Ming Ming seemed to be angry and quickly explained, Now, Hidden House Zhao's Elder Zhao wants to deal with Lin Yi and wants to poison him. It's like this. Elder Yu didn't hide it and told Kong Ming Ming about Elder Zhao wanting to use Zhao Qikuan as bait to invite Lin Yi for a meal and then poison him. Why are you telling me about this? If House Zhao wants to kill Lin Yi, then kill him. I'll be happier if he does. Kong Ming Ming was a little puzzled. Elder Yu called him to tell him this just to make him happy? No, the current situation is that Hidden House Zhao doesn't have a poison that can poison Lin Yi, so they asked us for help. However, we don't have the confidence that we can make Lin Yi not notice the existence of the poison. After all, Elder Kong, you know that Lin Yi's attainments in medicine are also very high. Old Master Yu said, So, I want to ask Elder Kong if there is any suitable poison. In this way I can help Old Master Zhao. Elder Yu only said that Hidden House Zhao wanted to kill Lin Yi with poison, but he wouldn't say that he wanted to kill Lin Yi. It seemed that he was just building a bridge for Hidden House Zhao. Oh, is that so? Alright, I got it. I'll give you an answer after I study it. Kong Ming Ming understood Old Master Yu's meaning, but he did not immediately agree. After all, this matter had to be discussed with Patriarch Xianxin. Okay, Elder Kong, then I will wait for the good news. Old Master Yu said quickly. After hanging up the phone, Kong Ming Ming did not hide anything. He told Patriarch Xianxin everything that Old Master Yu had said and asked him to make a decision. Isn't this a good thing? After hearing that, Patriarch Xianxin did not express any objections. Instead he agreed. This way someone can help us kill Lin Yi. We don't have to do anything. It saves us trouble. But that poison... Kong Ming Ming didn't know how to make any poison. As for the poison, I have to look up some information. Lin Yi is not a simple person. Ordinary poisons can't fool him. We have to get something special. Patriarch Xianxin pondered and said. Okay, Master. Then I will call Old Master Yu back and tell him that we will help? Kong Ming Ming asked. Sure, but this matter must be kept secret. Don't tell anyone else, Patriarch Xianxin said. Don't worry, Master. This is our enemy. It has nothing to do with others. I won't say anything, Kong Ming Ming nodded and promised. Kong Ming Ming went to call Old Master Yu, and Patriarch Xianxin went to look up information about poisons. At this time, Old Master Zhao had just returned to Hidden House Zhao. When he found out that Qikuan had come back at this time, he was a little surprised. He gave Qibing, who was driving, a look. Qibing, you go to your room first. Cooperate with us for the next few days, don't let anything go wrong. He was afraid that Qibing would cause trouble without knowing the truth, so he told Qibing his plan on the road. He was going to get rid of Lin Yi with Qikuan's help. So, Qibing could pretend to be messing around these days, but he couldn't do anything else. Because the position of the young master would still be his. Don't worry, Grandpa. I know what I'm doing. Qibing nodded and went back to his room. Old Master Zhao, on the other hand, went to Qikuan's room. Dang dang dang. Standing in front of Qikuan's room, Old Master Zhao knocked on the door. Who is it? Come in. Qikuan said casually. The door was pushed open but no one spoke. Qikuan paused and raised his head only to see old Zhao. He was even more shocked. Old Master Zhao had come to his room personally? This surprised Qikuan and he felt a little flattered. After all, he had been hiding in House Zhao and was under house arrest. Old Master Zhao had ignored him for a long time and he was used to it. Grandpa, why are you here? Qikuan was disappointed in Old Master Zhao, but he was still his grandpa. He still had to be respectful. Old Master Zhao didn't say anything. After entering the room, he sat on the sofa and looked at Qikuan silently. Grandpa. Qikuan was even more puzzled. What did Old Master Zhao mean by this? Why didn't he say anything when he came in? Qikuan, you passed the test? Old Master Zhao finally spoke. He looked at Qikuan, his eyes complicated. Yeah, Grandpa, I'm back. Qikuan thought. Wasn't this bullshit? But he still replied respectfully. Qikuan, was the test dangerous this time? What? He's pretty strong to be able to bring you through such a dangerous test? Old Master Zhao's words made Qikuan even more confused. He didn't know what he was talking about. Grandpa, you came to find me? Qikuan was confused. I got the pill and completed the mission, but Elder Bai, isn't he dead? You're the one who got the pill, so naturally you can decide how to use it. Even if Elder Bai doesn't die, you're the one who calls the shots. Old Master Zhao waved his hand. I heard that Lin Yi's really strong now? Strong? Qikuan paused. He's alright. Grandpa, what do you mean? Chitan, I was wrong before. Compared to Qibing, you're the young man of House Zhao. Don't be angry before, I'm impressed because he brought back a qi-gathering pill. Qibing's eyes lit up as he spoke. You're right, Qibing. Old Master Zhao said. But now you brought back a great recovery pill and that's a third-level pill, so you two are even, so, Grandpa, you can't be saying. Qikuan jumped in shock as he looked at Old Master Zhao in disbelief. Could it be that Old Master Zhao's thinking had really changed? Chapter 29:20. He continued, oftentimes as the head of a house, I have to think about the big picture. Before, I supported Zhao Qibing because of his contributions to the hidden house, and as the head of the house, I have to reward those who contribute to the house. I can't let them down. Otherwise, who would contribute to the house in the future? So, I supported Zhao Qibing. As for you, as Zhao Qibing's biggest competitor, I can only suppress you. But, I couldn't do something like killing you myself, so I could only lock you up. Qikuan nodded silently. He understood what old Zhao was saying. He was just angry before, wondering why Zhao Qibing could get the position. But after knowing Zhao Qibing's contributions, he just felt that he was unlucky. Grandpa, I understand all of that. Qikuan sighed. Yes, you understand all of that. Now you brought back a third-level pill for the house, and your contributions are equal to Qibing's. I won't be biased towards Zhao Qibing anymore. You guys have the same starting point, so I'm more inclined towards you being the head of the house. Chitan, do you understand? Old Master Zhao said in a serious tone. Meh. Qikuan was a bit dumbfounded. Why was old Zhao saying this all of a sudden? Hidden House Han, Hidden House Pai, Hidden House Zhuang, these houses. Hidden House Zhuang used to be much weaker than us, and Hidden House Pai was about the same strength as us, but these two are doing better than us now. Why is that? Old Zhao paused here before continuing. I'm sure you understand, Zhao Qikuan, that's because they've accepted Lin Yi as their boss, and so they've gotten a huge boost. So, Grandpa, you're saying? Qikuan finally understood and was pleasantly surprised. His grandpa finally understood what Lin Yi was capable of, and he was finally ready to join Lin Yi's side. That's right. Old Zhao nodded affirmatively. Before, Grandpa thought that Lin Yi was a freelancer and didn't have much ability. And because of what happened with Zhao Qibing, we had some grudges with Lin Yi. Because of that, I never thought about the pros and cons of this matter. But now it seems that you're the smarter one. He gave us, the hidden Zhao family, a way out. Qikuan was very happy to see his grandpa come back to his rights. He didn't know what to say. Grandpa, I just think that Boss Lin Yi treats me very well and he's very strong. He can protect me, so. Qikuan said. Yes, I know. You don't have to explain, you did the right thing. Old Zhao said. It's just that Grandpa had some misunderstandings with Lin Yi before, and joining him like this is a bit sudden, and also, Grandpa's face. Grandpa, our family didn't really respect Lin Yi boss in the first place. Why are you still thinking about face at a time like this? Boss Lin Yi's follower has already risen to the ancient level, and it'll be too late for us to be reserved. Chiquan was panicking. Why was Grandpa still thinking about face at a time like this? All ancient sects? Old Zhao's heart skipped a beat as he probed. Even the ancient sects serve Lin Yi? Not really, just ancient-level disciples, Chiquan said truthfully, not hiding anything. He didn't know that old Zhao was trying to get information out of him. Chiquan didn't know that Tuoba Wang was representing the yellow soil high sections. After all, this involved little Jiao, and Lin Yi didn't tell him in detail. He only said it vaguely, so Chiquan didn't know. I see. Old Zhao pretended to be surprised, but breathed a sigh of relief inwardly. It was just a few disciples, so it wasn't a big deal, but if there were ancient sects joining Lin Yi, then it'd be really troublesome. At that time, even if he killed Lin Yi and the ancient sects came for revenge, he wouldn't be able to do anything about it. But it wasn't yet. Chiquan, what do you think I should do now? If you really want Lin Yi boss to protect our hidden house, I think you should have a banquet and apologize to boss Lin Yi, letting bygones be bygones, Chiquan suggested. You're right. Old Zhao was about to laugh out loud. Zhao Chiquan, don't you know that the older you are, the wiser you are? I've been waiting for you to say this, for you to say it yourself. Grandpa, does that mean you agree? Chiquan breathed a sigh of relief. If he called Lin Yi boss and he still put on airs, then Lin Yi wouldn't be happy. Even if he called House Zhao his little brother for his sake, he wouldn't feel good about it. But if old Zhao took the initiative to hold a banquet and apologize, then everything would be fine. Yeah, I'll listen to you, right? Old Zhao waved his hand. Here, I'll think about it and call a family meeting. I'll treat Lin Yi to a meal and confirm this relationship. All right, Grandpa, I'll go tell boss Lin Yi our decision right now, Chiquan said happily. Okay, go. Old Zhao said. I'll announce in a bit that you and Zhao Qibing's positions in the hidden house will be the same from now onwards. You'll both be the heir of the house. You know that I can't just take away Zhao Qibing's heir position all of a sudden. He contributed to the house, so it'll depend on your contributions. But you have Lin Yi to protect you, so it shouldn't be a problem in the future. I understand, Grandpa, Chiquan said quickly. If old Zhao had just said that he'd take away Zhao Qibing and make Zhao Chiquan the heir, then Chiquan would have been confused and would have been exposed. But now, the more he said it, the more Chiquan felt that it was reasonable. After returning home, Lin Yi didn't even have time to talk to Meng Yao and Yushu about the interesting things that happened in the Sky Elixir Sect's test before he was infuriated by a troublesome matter. These days, Qianli had been living like a drunkard, trying to get by as long as he could. He didn't report the company's matters to House Lu, and he didn't tell Fatty Lai and the others either. Instead, he just smoked every day. Chapter 29-21. Although the company was already in debt, Qianli still had the money to pay for the drugs. The company and House Lu's cars could be sold for $1 million or so, and selling one would normally be enough for him to smoke for a while. However, Qianli's mouth had been sucked dry by the cigarettes from before, and he didn't feel anything for normal drugs at all, so he had to buy high-purity drugs to satisfy his cravings. And that wasn't all. Qianli had been smoking a lot before, a couple packs a day, and that meant that he was inhaling a lot of drugs. So he had to replace it with simple drugs, and he needed a lot of it. Otherwise, Qianli wouldn't be satisfied. Moreover, Qianli felt that everything was over. The company was gone, and he also owed a huge debt to Lin Yi. He might as well just throw everything away and live as freely as he could. However, this wasn't a situation where Qianli could do whatever he wanted. The business department, sales department, finance department, and purchasing department were all in an emergency. These days, the distributors were pressing for the goods furiously because many of them had already paid for the goods, but they still couldn't get the goods. On the other hand, Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company was in an emergency as well. Not only that, but the profits from the drugs hadn't been transferred back to the company's account on time. Naturally, Fatty Lai called House Lu's company to ask what was going on. The bank's loans were quite large and most of them were short-term loans. If Qianli hadn't returned the money by the deadline, the bank would naturally ask what was going on. If he still didn't return the money, they would confiscate the Lu's real estate according to the rules. All of these things were piled up on Qianli's desk, but he didn't reply to any of them. He locked himself in his office every day, smoking and not giving his subordinates a clear answer. All of a sudden, everyone in the company was panicking, not knowing what was going on. Especially the important departments. Not only did they have to deal with the distributors, but they also had to deal with Fatty Lai and the bank. They were extremely busy every day. Fatty Lai and the bank called Qianli, but he didn't pick up, pretending that he wasn't there. As a result, rumors began to spread in the company. The so-called rumors were actually half true and half false. especially Secretary Jiang, who knew the most. Seeing that the company was going downhill, and that he could not get his salary and bonus, Secretary Jiang could only tell the company's director, deputy director, finance department, sales department, business department, and purchasing department the truth. He told them what he knew and guessed so that they could respond as soon as possible. As for him, he was ready to resign. The company was riddled with holes. Under such circumstances, who would be stupid enough to stay here? The department manager who knew the truth would tell his close colleagues in the company, and soon the whole company knew that Tianli was done for. And so, resignation letters flew everywhere and everyone in the company left. Tianli wanted to hide it, but he couldn't. Because at this time, the bank had already gone to the Liu family to confiscate the real estate they had mortgaged. The Liu family's villa was one of them. When Jianghu and Liu Qianni were informed by the bank staff that Tianli hadn't repaid the loan on time, the villa had been seized. Both of them were dumbfounded. What? You're saying that this villa and the rest of the Liu family's real estate were all mortgaged by Tianli? Liu Qianni looked at the bank staff in shock. He didn't interfere with House Liu's business, so naturally he didn't know what Tianli was doing. Could there be a mistake? Mr. Liu, we're just following the rules. This is the mortgage application with Mr. Tianli's signature. Please take a look. If you don't believe it, you can call Mr. Tianli yourself. The bank staff smiled bitterly. House Liu was one of the common noble houses, and even if they weren't doing well right now, it wasn't something a small staff like him could mess with, so he spoke politely. Tianli, there's no problem with these documents. It seems like it really is that bastard Tianli's doing. Jianghu sighed as he looked at the mortgage application in the staff's hands. Dad, don't worry. I'll call Tianli right now and ask him what's going on. Liu Qianni frowned as he dialed Tianli's number. Tianli met the bank staff in the company who were going to seize the skyscraper. He didn't say anything but dismissed all the employees and walked out of the building alone, sitting quietly on the green belt in front of the building. He didn't even bother to explain, letting the bank staff seize the building. The people left in the company were all old people, most of them direct descendants of Liu Jingyan's generation. They were also the most loyal direct descendants, and none of them resigned. Instead, they stayed with Tianli until the end. But now they didn't even have a place to work. Disappointment flashed in their eyes as they looked at the dispirited Tianli sitting in front of the green belt. Tianli was far, far worse than Liu Jinghan. Director Chen, what do we do now? Out of all these people, the one with the highest position in the company was Director Chen. His position in the company was second only to one and above tens of thousands of people. The chairman and CEO of the company was Liu Qianli, and the vice CEO was Liu Jinghan. But ever since she left, it was just a title. Only Director Chen was left. Director Chen sighed helplessly. I'll give Miss Liu a call, although Liu Jinghan had already left, telling these people not to bother her anymore. Her job was done and vice CEO was just a title forever. But Director Chen had no choice but to call Liu Jinghan now. The company was in too big of a crisis. Director Chen? Liu Jinghan had just parked her BMW when she received Director Chen's call. She was a bit surprised. Why was Director Chen calling her all of a sudden? Vice CEO Liu, it's me. Director Chen called Liu Jinghan as Vice CEO Liu because Tianli's surname was Liu as well. He could only add the word vice to Liu Jingyan's name. Otherwise he would have left it out. What's the matter? Liu Jinghan asked curiously. Vice CEO Liu, the company is in trouble. Director Chen said urgently. Chapter 29-22. No, it's like this. Director Chen didn't know the truth either. Tianli was muddle-headed and didn't say anything. He could only guess from Secretary Zhang's words that Tianli had been scammed, and the company's money was gone. He didn't know the specifics and could only fill in the blanks with his own imagination. He then told Jinghan his guesses and deductions. When he talked about the company being seized by the bank, the usually calm Jinghan couldn't stay calm anymore. What? The company's building was seized? Just how much did my father borrow? What kind of business did he work with that Mr. Lang? Vice CEO Liu, I'm not too sure about that. I heard it was some kind of cigarette business, but Secretary Zhang isn't too sure either. Mr. Liu didn't tell anyone else because this business was discussed by Mr. Liu himself. He didn't go through us, Director Chen said. I understand. Keep an eye on my father and don't let him do anything stupid. I'll think of something else. Jinghan took a deep breath. She didn't think that such a big mess would happen when she wasn't home. Okay, Vice CEO Liu, Director Chen replied. Jinghan hung up and frowned as she fell into deep thought. At the same time in Yanjing, the news of House Liu's failed investment spread like wildfire to everyone related to House Liu. House Liu had suffered a huge loss this time, losing more than 5 billion in capital and real estate. Not only did they lose all the money from Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company, they even lost all their money. The distributors called Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company over and over again, complaining about Lu Qianli, asking for a refund or supply of goods. But Fatty Lai only had a small portion of the medicine that hadn't left the warehouse yet. The new raw materials weren't sent over by Qianli, so Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company couldn't continue production. Plus, Fatty Lai didn't even have the money to give to the distributors even if he wanted a refund. All of a sudden, Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company stopped production as well. Because of Qianli's influence, Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company's reputation plummeted. The truth of Lu Qianli's drug addiction couldn't be hidden from the observant people at all. Not long after Lu Qianli went bankrupt, the news spread again. Elder Jianghu was shaking with rage. He never would have thought that Qianli would go and do drugs. Not only that, the company had already lost money, but he didn't even think of a way out. Instead, he sold his car and continued doing drugs. Unfilial son. You unfilial son. Jianghu's body had recovered quite a bit after Lin Yi's treatment, but this time it pissed him off so much that he couldn't even get up from the wheelchair. Qianli knelt on the ground, his eyes sunken in, his expression wooden, ignoring Jianghu's roar. It wasn't that he really ignored these things, but that he was still trapped in the illusion brought about by the drug addiction, so he didn't care about anything else around him. Father, please calm down. Brother is probably addicted to drugs right now, he can't hear anything we say. I think we should send him to a drug rehabilitation center and force him to detoxify? Lu Qianli noticed that something was wrong with Qianli. He knew Qianli well. He was a conservative person and his company was a solid one. He always listened to his father, himself, and even Lu Jinghan when it came to family matters. He didn't have many ideas himself. This time the situation was very special. Why did Qianli suddenly change into a different person, taking drugs and losing money? He's not your brother. Taking drugs, selling drugs, isn't this bringing glory to House Lu? Miracle Dr. Lin gave the medicine company to us, House Lu, to take care of it, and we ended up like this. How am I supposed to face Miracle Dr. Lin with my old face? Jianghu was so angry that he was shaking. What Qianli had done was beyond what he could handle. Maybe he was tricked? Lu Qianli carefully tried to explain for Qianli. Tricked? He wouldn't have been tricked if he didn't have any greed in his heart. Jianghu laughed coldly. Don't think I don't know what he's thinking. He's never approved of our cooperation with Miracle Dr. Lin, thinking that we're just relying on Lin Yi. If one day Lin Yi is done for, then House Lu will be done for as well. But because of you, me, and Jing's pressure, he could only do as we're told. But if there's a chance, he'll definitely want to turn the company into a business that can still operate without Lin Yi. That. Lu Qianli couldn't help but smile bitterly. But isn't he thinking for House Lu? There's something wrong with his thinking. Now that Lin Yi is doing fine, he's done for first. Jianghu humphed. If he was half as strong as Jing, the company wouldn't be like this. Yes? Qianli didn't have much else to say at this point, he just nodded. Qianli, give Miracle Dr. Lin a call and tell him that House Lu has wronged him. Qianli and I will die to atone for our sins. My old face really can't face Lin Yi anymore, I don't have the face to live anymore. Jianghu sighed as he made his decision. Father, how can you die? Lu Qianli jumped, his eyes wide. If you die, what will happen to House Lu? I'll ask Mr. Lin Yi for mercy, we'll do anything to make it up to him. Doesn't House Lu still have you? Jianghu shook his head. Do you think you can appease Miracle Dr. Lin's anger if you don't die? 5 billion isn't a small amount, and the impact this will have on Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company isn't something that can be calculated with money. Instead of living under Miracle Dr. Lin's oppression, why don't Qianli and I die to atone for our sins? Qianli, you still have a chance to rise again because you're the closest to Lin Yi. Qianli fell silent after hearing Jianghu's words. He was right. Even if Lin Yi were to let the Lius go for the sake of the past, he'd never trust and care for them like he did in the past. Even if Lin Yi didn't oppress House Lu, Lin Yi's followers and other noble houses wouldn't be able to guarantee that House Lu wouldn't be suppressed. When the time came, House Lu would never be able to rise again. Chapter 29-23. Father, Miracle Dr. Lin might not want you and brother to die, right? House Lu. Lu Qianli said carefully. Don't say anything else, just ask Miracle Dr. Lin for his opinion. Just do as I say. Jianghu waved his hand and said determinedly, I've made up my mind. Yes, Father. Lu Qianli didn't dare say anything else. He nodded and called Lin Yi. Lin Yi had just gotten the news from Fatty Lai, and although he didn't show it, his face was extremely dark. Lin Yi never would have thought that Qianli would lose his company to drugs and drugs? That wasn't all, and the main point was that Qianli also lost the money from Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company. What was this guy thinking? Was he trying to defy the heavens? At that moment Lu Qianli called. Lin Yi took a look and picked it up, but his tone wasn't as nice as before. He said coldly, "Mr. Lu, if you have something to say, just say it." Miracle Dr. Lin. I believe you already know about our Qianli's situation. Lu Qianli's forehead was covered in cold sweat. As expected, Lin Yi's attitude wasn't as nice as before, and it made his heart go cold. I know, what do you want to do? Lin Yi was already pissed off to a certain degree. There was no way to lose money like this, was there? Even Chu Pingzhan had only lost his own money, but this Lu Qianli had lost Fatty Lai's money as well, and he still owed the distributors money and goods. So, of course, Lin Yi didn't have a nice tone. Qianli's actions directly affected many of Lin Yi's plans, including the expansion of the medical company and the construction of Xiaoka's orphanage. Which one of these didn't need funds? I'm sorry, Miracle Dr. Lin. House Lu has betrayed your trust. My father said that he and Qianli will die as an apology. If you're not satisfied, I can. Lu Qianli sighed. Forget about you and your father, it has nothing to do with you. But that Lu Qianli, I don't want to see him anymore. Lin Yi took a deep breath. He wasn't being cruel to the Lu family, but if these underling families didn't receive the corresponding punishment, then the other underling families would follow suit. In any case, if there was no punishment for their mistakes, then how could Lin Yi convince the public? So, even if Lin Yi was grateful for what House Lu had done for him, he couldn't let this go so easily. Just punishing Qianli alone was already giving House Lu a lot of face, and this was also because Lu Qianli lent him money when he needed it. Yes. Thank you for your forgiveness, Mr. Lin. Qianli sighed in relief. His father Jianghu was fine, but Qianli? No one could save him now. Alright, if there's nothing else, I'll hang up first. Lin Yi was having a headache. He needed to talk to Fatty Lai about how to continue the company's business. They couldn't just stop like this. Alright, Miracle Dr. Lin. Lu Qianli hung up and turned to his father. Father, Mr. Lin only said that he doesn't want to see Qianli anymore. Qianli, don't see him if you don't want to see him, he deserved it. You know what to do now, right? Lu Jianghu was a decisive man. He may have been angry, but Qianli's death still hurt him. There was nothing he could do about it. I understand. Lu Qianli smiled bitterly and nodded. But shouldn't we inform Jing about this? Jianghu's eyes sharpened as he looked at Lu Qianli. Don't worry about Jing's business, she has her own plans. Yes. Lu Qianli nodded. Then I'll send Qianli to the detox center first. If he's going to go on his way, he should go on his way cleanly, shouldn't he? Jianghu didn't deny it. Let's wait. Lu Qianli sent Qianli to the detox center. He and Jianghu, on the other hand, had a place to stay, but the noble houses that were close to them were all waiting for the wind. They didn't know what Lin Yi wanted, so no one dared to help. House Qin, House Wu, and House Sun didn't have much money and couldn't help with the company, but they could still help House Lu through this difficult time. But Lin Yi didn't say anything, so who dared to interfere? After putting down the phone, Lin Yi fell into deep thought. There was no point in being angry about this. What had already happened, and he had to think of a way to fix it. Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company was lacking funds, and once production resumed, House Lu's company would need to find someone to take over. All this time, House Lu had been in charge of the purchasing and sales channels of Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company. With House Lu's sudden collapse, Fatty Lai didn't have the contact information of the distributors and suppliers. He could find another supplier, but most of the distributors had paid a deposit. If he were to replace them all, it would cause dissatisfaction among the distributors, and he might even get sued. Fatty Lai had to be careful. What Lin Yi could solve was to borrow money from Pengzhan and the other noble houses and hidden houses, but there was too much of a gap this time. These hidden houses had a lot of money, but it wasn't realistic for them to take out such a huge amount of cash at once. Like the hidden house Han, they had quite a lot of treasures, but it was impossible to convert them into money all at once. Their family's expenses were fixed every year, and they wouldn't prepare too much. Lin Yi couldn't ask them to take out all their money for him, and they wouldn't be able to live. Moreover, even if they took out all their cash, it wouldn't be much. For the current Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company, it was just a drop in the bucket. However, no matter what, it was better to resume production first. Even if the supply was a little less, it was better than directly stopping production. The sudden incident at the company had messed up Lin Yi's plans, and he was caught unprepared. Originally, Lin Yi wanted to study the refining of the jade space. After all, he had just reached the second stage of the art of dragon mastery, and Lin Yi couldn't wait to refine the jade space. There was another important thing, and that was to go to West Star Village and return to the cave. According to the introduction, when the stone door opened for the second time, after Lin Yi reached the second stage of the art of dragon mastery, he could open the third stone door, and he wouldn't have to abide by the 5-year promise. Chapter 29-24. But from the looks of it, all of this had to be pushed back. He had to solve his family's problems first. Sitting on the sofa, Lin Yi started calling Qintian's family to borrow money. He couldn't borrow too much from each family, and it was easy for a family like House Wu to borrow 100 million, but too much was a problem. Fortunately, Lin Yi had a lot of followers now, and it was enough to help Fatty Lai get through this. Meng Yao and Yushu didn't dare disturb Lin Yi, and even Yushu, who was always curious, didn't ask Lin Yi about the fun things that happened in the test. Naturally, the hidden house Zhao received the news of Miracle Dr. Guan's company being in trouble. Old Zhao laughed, thinking that the heavens were on his side. Old Zhao went straight to Qikuan. These 2 days, Qikuan had regained his status as the young master of the hidden house. But whenever Qibing saw him, he'd have that red eyebrow and green eyes look on his face. He'd humph coldly and leave. Qikuan actually understood Qibing's behavior. Ever since he came back from the test, he'd taken away his position as the heir. Anyone else would be pissed, but Qibing thought that he still had hope. He didn't want to fight with Qikuan in House Zhao, so while the two were in a cold war, they didn't have anything to do with each other. "Grandpa, you're looking for me?" Qikuan was just about to call Lin Yi to tell him the good news when his grandpa came looking for him early in the morning. "Qikuan, did you call Mr. Lin Yi?" Old Zhao asked directly. "Not yet, Grandpa, what's wrong?" Qikuan was a bit confused. Why was his grandpa asking this in the morning? "Oh, then you might not know yet, but Mr. Lin Yi's company is in trouble." Old Zhao said. "I thought you knew, and I was just about to tell you." "What? Boss's company is in trouble? What's wrong?" Qikuan paused. He followed Lin Yi quite late, so he didn't know much about Lin Yi's company. "It's like this." Old Zhao told Qikuan the news he got. "The boss. Doesn't that mean he's in trouble?" Qikuan was shocked. "Then, is there anything we can do?" "Chitan, Grandpa is here to discuss something with you. Since our hidden Zhao family has chosen Lin Yi to be the boss, then we, as the younger brother's family, must do our best to help Mr. Lin Yi overcome this crisis." Old Master Zhao nodded and said, "So, I want to tell you that although our hidden Zhao family doesn't have much money, we have been doing business for more than half a year, so we have a lot of funds in our hands. Together we can take out 200 million. You call Mr. Lin Yi right now. We'll give this 200 million to Mr. Lin Yi. Although it's a meager amount, it's the greatest ability of the hidden Zhao family." Qikuan was dumbfounded. He didn't think that his grandpa would do something like this, supporting Lin Yi with everything he had. They hadn't even held a formal banquet to make Lin Yi boss yet, and this was already the case. One could see that his grandpa had already decided on Lin Yi. Qikuan was overjoyed. He'd been worried that his grandpa would accept Lin Yi as boss because he wanted Lin Yi's protection. But if he didn't do anything and just kept asking for more, then even if Lin Yi didn't say anything for his sake, he'd still feel uncomfortable. So when Qikuan heard that his grandpa could take out 200 million, he was overjoyed. "Grandpa, you're saying? Is that true?" Qikuan asked quickly. "Of course it's true. You still don't trust your grandpa?" Old Zhao laughed. "I've already told Guangyin to gather the money. It's on this card, the password is your birthday, you can call Mr. Lin Yi anytime." "Thank you, Grandpa," Qikuan said, overjoyed. "All right, make the call, I won't disturb you anymore." Old Zhao nodded and left with a smile. Qikuan, on the other hand, quickly dialed Lin Yi's number. Before, he was still hesitating on how to bring this up to Lin Yi. Hidden House Zhao had made Lin Yi their boss, and it seemed like Lin Yi had another hidden house as his follower. But after going to the Ice Palace with Lin Yi, he could tell that Lin Yi didn't lack followers at all. So, maybe this was just a case of heat and Lin Yi didn't want to? And so Qikuan had been hesitating. But now that Lin Yi's company was in trouble, Qikuan didn't hesitate anymore. "Hello, Qikuan? Why are you calling me?" Lin Yi was a bit surprised. Wasn't Qikuan locked up again after going back? He could actually call him? In Lin Yi's plan, after Qikuan went back, old Zhao and Zhao Qibing would be even more afraid of him, they might even lock him up. But it wouldn't be life-threatening because Lin Yi could tell that old Zhao was afraid of him, he wouldn't dare do anything to Qikuan. And so Lin Yi decided to go see Qikuan after a while. If it didn't work out, he'd let him start his own house, working with Han Xiaopa and Pai Jishan. But the company's business had affected Lin Yi's plans. Chikuan wouldn't be in trouble for a while anyway, so he'd just let him stay in House Zhao for a while. Boss, something happened to your company? Chikuan asked quickly. How did you know? Lin Yi was a bit surprised. Chikuan's source of information should be the worst, and even if the hidden House Zhao knew, they wouldn't tell him. And so, Lin Yi had called his lackeys to borrow money, but he didn't call Chikuan or Yu Bing. Chikuan had no say in House Zhao, and Yu Bing, on the other hand, was in the Ice Palace, and Lin Yi didn't have a good relationship with the hidden House Yu, so he couldn't be bothered to call. My grandpa told me. Chikuan said, Boss, you need money right now, right? We, the hidden House Zhao, can take out 200 million for you. What? Lin Yi's eyes went wide as if he'd heard the most unbelievable thing in the world. He couldn't believe his ears. Chikuan, what did you say? Your hidden House Zhao wants to lend me 200 million? It's not lending, Grandpa said it's for you. Chikuan said. Chapter 29-25. Old Zhao wanted to give him money? How was that possible? He couldn't even lend it to him, let alone give it to him. Boss, actually, after I came back from the Sky Elixir School's test, Grandpa's attitude towards me changed. Chikuan knew that Lin Yi would be shocked, so he didn't hide anything. He told Lin Yi everything that had happened since he got home. Grandpa wants us to hide House Zhao and recognize you as our boss, but because of some misunderstandings before, he doesn't feel too good about it. Coincidentally, something like this came up, and so he asked me to bring this money to you. I see. Lin Yi was a little surprised at the change in old Zhao's attitude, but it wasn't incomprehensible. Hidden House Pai and House Zhuang used to be enemies with him, didn't they? Until now, didn't he still become his underling? Plus, Chikuan had returned safely from the Sky Elixir School's test, bringing back a third-level elixir. He'd shown his strength as well, and it was normal for old Zhao's attitude to change. After all, Qibing and Chikuan weren't just a little bit weaker. As long as old Zhao didn't go to extremes or go senile, choosing Chikuan as the heir of the hidden House Zhao was a very wise choice. Yeah, boss, give me your account number, I'll transfer the money to you right now. Chikuan said. Grandpa said that after this is over, he'll hold a banquet to invite you to confirm our identities. In that case, Chikuan, please thank old Zhao for me. My account number is... Lin Yi said, a little emotional. Of course, he didn't expect old Zhao to be that extreme. Even now, he was still trying to kill him and he was taking out 200 million. This old Zhao was crazy. And boss, I'll transfer the money to you right now. Chikuan said. I won't disturb you then, you must have other things to do. We'll contact each other after this is over. All right. Lin Yi nodded. Chikuan's 200 million was like coal in a snowstorm. Lin Yi's lackeys weren't poor, but they didn't have a lot of cash. Lin Yi's phone call barely brought them over $1 billion, and with Chikuan's 200 million, it was a total of $2 billion. For Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company, it could only barely alleviate the situation. After all, Qianli had created too many debts. There was no return on the medicine that was produced with the money invested. The money had already been taken by Qianli and it was all gone. Lin Yi, Dad just called me saying that he can give you 300 million in cash. We'll be able to get some more through business adjustments and bank loans, but we can't rush this. Meng Yao said as she walked over to Lin Yi. 300 million is already a lot. Lin Yi knew that Peng Zhan's company had expanded to Donghai, but he didn't have as much cash on hand as a result. Before, in order to pay Meng Yao's ransom, he had to borrow money from Lu Qianni. This 300 million was probably the money Peng Zhan used to expand his company. Of course, this was also the reason why Lin Yi didn't kill House Lu right away. Lu Qianni had helped him before, so he only took away House Lu's partnership rights and made Qianli disappear. As for the rest, House Lu was still under his protection. The miss nodded and pulled Shu upstairs. She knew that Lin Yi needed peace and quiet, so she didn't want to disturb him. Lu Qianni sent Qianli to the rehab center and was about to go back when he received a call from Lu Jinghan. Uncle, it's Jing Jing. Lu Jinghan's voice sounded a little anxious. My dad. How is he? Jing Jing, I just sent Qianli to the rehab center. But he's not doing well? Lu Qianni sighed, not hiding anything. Although Jianghu didn't let him look for Lu Jinghan called him first. He said, Miracle Dr. Lin's anger isn't that easy to appease. Although he won't pursue House Lu's responsibility anymore, he said that he doesn't want to see Qianli anymore. You should understand what he means, right? What? Lu Jinghan couldn't help but cry out, Uncle, you mean that my father, your grandpa wants him to die as an apology? Qianni smiled bitterly, that's the only way for House Lu to survive. Plus, Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company's business partner won't be us anymore. Uncle, have you ever thought that there's something fishy about this? My father shouldn't be such an impulsive person. Why would he do drugs? He should be a very conservative person. This was what Lu Jinghan couldn't figure out. There are definitely things that don't make sense, but people who do drugs have a change of mind. It's hard to say if they would do something impulsive or not. Tianyi sighed before explaining. Besides, your grandpa and I have always known about this, and I'm sure you know about it as well, Jing. Li Tianli is a conservative man, but it's precisely because of that he's the one who can't accept House Lu becoming Miracle Dr. Lin's vassal. He's always wanted House Lu's business to grow without Lin Yi. House Lu's business was already very big, but it wasn't as big as House Yu's. It was only with Miracle Dr. Lin's help that we became a top business. Tianli felt that this wasn't the real House Lu, and if something happened to Lin Yi then House Lu would be done for, but I didn't think that it would be him. Lu Jinghan went silent. She was one of the people who understood Tianli the most, and Lu Tianyi's explanation wasn't unreasonable. She said helplessly after a while, I understand, Jing. Lu Tianyi didn't know what Lu Jinghan meant, but when he wanted to ask, Lu Jinghan had already hung up. Lin Yi communicated with Fatty Lai about the situation. They had 1.5 billion in their hands now, and it could only last for a short period of time. They would use this money to pay off the suppliers, and then use the rest to buy the raw materials, make the medicine, and then sell it to the distributors. Chapter 29-26. Although he could deny it from a business point of view, Fatty Lai couldn't be an unscrupulous businessman. Plus, Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company cared the most about reputation and reputation. But that was all Lin Yi could do for now. Shaking his head, Lin Yi threw these things to the back of his mind and stood up to go back to his room to research on the jade crafting. He didn't expect the doorbell to ring. Since Mengyao and Yushu had gone upstairs, Lin Yi had to open the door himself. He didn't expect Han Jingjing to be there. Lin Yi, bro, you're back. Han Jingjing was very happy to see Lin Yi. She skipped in and looked at Lin Yi from head to toe. Yeah, I'm back. How did you know? Lin Yi was surprised by Han Jingjing's information network. Your car is outside. Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi, confused. Lin Yi, bro, what's wrong? Why do you look a little distracted? Lin Yi understood after hearing Han Jingjing's words. He was right, his jeep was parked in front of his house, and if Han Jingjing didn't see him then she'd have to be blind to be unable to see him. He smiled bitterly. It's nothing, something happened at the company. I didn't have time to look for you when I got home. Yeah. I'm looking for Lin Yi, bro, because I have something important to tell you. Han Jingjing nodded and didn't mind. What is it? Lin Yi paused. Jing has been researching an invention recently. Actually, I've been thinking about it ever since I was able to make pills in batches. Recently, I finally thought of something, so Jing wants to go into isolation for a while. I wanted to say goodbye to big bro Lin Yi. Han Jingjing said. Invention? Isolation? Say goodbye? Lin Yi was a little confused. He didn't understand what Han Jingjing was talking about. After a while he reacted, You mean you want to lock yourself in your room and research that invention you're talking about? Yes. Han Jingjing nodded and looked at Lin Yi in admiration. Big brother Lin Yi is amazing. You knew what Jingjing was going to do in such a short time. Pfft. Lin Yi was stunned and couldn't help but laugh. What's so great about that? You said that you're going into seclusion to research inventions. Of course I can think of that. By the way, Jing, what exactly are you researching? Jing is researching a method to refine pills with 100% success. Han Jingjing said. She had never hidden her new invention from Lin Yi. A method to refine elixirs with 100% success rate? Jing, aren't you already able to successfully refine pills with a 100% success rate? Why do you still want to study it? Lin Yi was slightly stunned and looked at Han Jingjing in confusion. That's because only Jing can refine 100% successfully. Jing means that other alchemists can also refine 100% successfully. Han Jingjing explained. Other alchemists can also refine 100% successfully? Lin Yi sucked in a breath of cold air. If Han Jingjing's invention really succeeded, then it would cause a huge commotion in the cultivation world. Yes. Han Jingjing nodded. Jing's research has already made some progress. All that's left is the final implementation. That's quite an interesting invention. Lin Yi nodded thoughtfully. If Han Jingjing could really come up with it, then Lin Yi could totally find some followers with suitable constitutions to refine pills in batches. Then he would become a great alchemist sect that was no weaker than the Sky Elixir sect. It's alright, but we'll have to wait for Jing to finish her research first. Han Jingjing changed the topic. By the way, Linny bro, what happened to your company? It's actually nothing much. It's just that House Lu's Lu Tianli used all the company's money to do some drug trafficking and got scammed. Oh right, you probably don't know anyone from House Lu. Linny said casually. I see. Then Linny bro, how do you plan to punish House Lu? Han Jingjing seemed to be very interested as she continued to ask. Linny was a little confused as to why Han Jingjing would be interested in these things, but he still said, seeing that House Lu has been loyal these days, I'll cancel their partnership with Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company and make Lu Tianli disappear. As for the others, I'll leave them be. I see. Han Jingjing nodded but suddenly asked, Linny bro, then can you let House Lu go this time? Linny was taken aback by Han Jingjing's sudden question. He was confused. Let House Lu go? What? Because Jingjing knows the Lius, and I need the Lius to help me buy some things for this pill I'm working on. So, Linny bro, can you promise Jingjing that you'll let the Lius go? Han Jingjing blinked her big watery eyes as she looked at Linny longingly. Linny frowned. Han Jingjing's reason was very far-fetched and ridiculous. She needed House Lu's help for her invention? However, Linny still asked, no need for House Lu, I can help you buy what you need from other people. Linny bro, just promise Jingjing, I'm begging you. Han Jingjing insisted. If someone else was begging him, Linny definitely wouldn't agree to such a ridiculous request. But to Han Jingjing, Linny couldn't reject her. It wasn't just because she could concoct pills for him, but also because she almost lost her life to help him keep his secret. Alright, I won't cancel the collaboration between House Lu and Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company. I heard that Lu Tianli has a genius daughter called Lu Jinghan. She should be able to take over her father's business. Linny sighed and agreed to Han Jingjing's request. Although he didn't agree completely, it was still a huge concession from Linny. Han Jingjing didn't seem very happy after hearing that. Instead, a hint of sadness flashed in her eyes. She asked, then, what about Lu Tianli? Everyone has to be responsible for their own doings. If they did something wrong, then they did wrong. If they didn't do anything wrong, then what would other people think? Linny paused. Jingjing, why are you begging for House Lu? Chapter 29-27. Linny was a little surprised. He didn't expect Han Jingjing to be so persistent about this matter. He understood Han Jingjing's character. If she wasn't forced, it was impossible for her to bring up the matter of being persecuted by Little 11. At that time, Han Jingjing didn't even think of using this matter to exchange for any conditions with Lin Yi. What was the use of conditions when she was dead? At that time Han Jingjing really wanted to die. But now Han Jingjing brought up this matter again. Apart from being surprised, Lin Yi was even more puzzled. Because this was not in line with Han Jingjing's character. Suddenly Lin Yi seemed to have thought of something and understood something. His eyes moved to Han Jingjing's face, but Lin Yi shook his head again, feeling that his guess was a little ridiculous. However, no matter how puzzled Lin Yi was, he still nodded and said, Okay Jingjing, I promise you. However, don't say that you only need to ask me for one thing. You have done for me no matter how many things you ask me for, it is reasonable. And then thank you big brother Lin Yi. Han Jingjing seemed to be very happy at this moment, as though she was relieved of a heavy burden. Jingjing knows that big brother Lin Yi treats Jingjing the best. Hee. Lin Yi smiled and wanted to ask Han Jingjing again, but judging from Han Jingjing's appearance she probably wouldn't answer much. The previous reason was already very clumsy, but Han Jingjing didn't want to say more, so Lin Yi couldn't do anything about it. Moreover, Lin Yi didn't want to ask more about these things. Han Jingjing must have her reasons for protecting the Lu family. For a girl like Han Jingjing, Lin Yi would try his best to satisfy her. Big brother Lin Yi, then Jingjing will go into seclusion. If there is anything you can let my brother Little Chow inform me. I may come out of seclusion from time to time to look for food, but if I don't come out, don't disturb me, said Han Jingjing. Okay, are you next door? Although Lin Yi felt a little strange, he still agreed. And just next door. Han Jingjing nodded and said, if big brother Lin Yi has something urgent, just call me. All right. Lin Yi agreed. He felt that Han Jingjing was strange today, but Lin Yi couldn't tell what was strange. Then Jingjing will be leaving. After saying that, Han Jingjing prepared to leave. However, when she reached the door she turned around and said, Big brother Lin Yi, you haven't forgotten what you promised Jingjing, right? What's the matter? Lin Yi was stunned for a moment, but then he reacted and said, you mean the Lu family? Don't worry, I'll call Lu Tianli right now. And then Jingjing will be leaving. Han Jingjing smiled happily, turned around and left Lin Yi's villa, walking towards her own villa. Lin Yi shook his head, but he still dialed Lu Qianyi's number immediately. Miracle Dr. Lin. Lu Qianyi picked up the phone in fear and trepidation. He didn't expect Lin Yi to call again so soon. Mr. Lu, about your brother? Let's forget about it. Let him stay in the drug rehabilitation center for a while, said Lin Yi. Ah. Lu Qianyi was stunned. He didn't understand what Lin Yi meant. Was he being sarcastic or was he testing him? However, Lu Qianyi didn't dare to neglect it. He still said seriously, Miracle Dr. Lin, don't worry. We will do what we say. I won't let you see Tianli again. Didn't you understand what I said? Lin Yi frowned and snorted coldly. I'll let him live. This was Han Jingjing's request and Lin Yi did as she said. However, this wasn't because of House Lu, but because of the girl who was willing to die to keep his secret. So Lin Yi was still angry at Tianli. Naturally, Lin Yi didn't have a good tone after hearing Lu Qianyi's question. Miracle Dr. Lin, you mean that Tianli doesn't have to die? Lu Qianyi was surprised and happy after hearing Lin Yi's words. Thank you for your concern, Miracle Dr. Lin. Also, your House Lu can continue to work with Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company. But Tianli is obviously not suitable for this job. Don't you have a genius girl called Lu Jinghan? Ask her to give me a call when she's free. She'll be in charge of House Lu's business from now on. Lin Yi said. Okay. Happiness came too quickly and Lu Qianyi couldn't accept it at all. But the next moment Lu Qianyi thought of something. Lin Yi let House Lu go and appointed Lu Jinghan as the successor of House Lu. Lu Qianyi could roughly guess what this meant. He quickly said, Don't worry, Miracle Dr. Lin, I'll report this to my father immediately and let Jing take over the family business. Lu Qianyi's meaning was clear. He was even prepared to give up his position as the head of the house and let Lu Jinghan take over the family business and business. Jing? Lin Yi was very sensitive to this name. He paused when Lu Qianyi mentioned it. Lu Jinghan Jing is her nickname? Lu Qianyi explained. Oh. Lin Yi's heart skipped a beat. Jing? Lu Jinghan? Could it be? But Lin Yi shook his head and denied his guess. This was a little too unreliable. Miracle Dr. Lin, do you know our Jing? Lu Qianyi asked tentatively. Of course I don't know your Jing. Mr. Lu, there's one last thing I hope you understand. I let House Lu go so easily not because of House Lu, but because the mistakes you've made have reached a level where I have to punish you. However, a very important friend of mine pleaded on your behalf, so I'll let you go this time. I hope you know what you're doing and don't do anything that will disappoint me again. Lin Yi warned faintly at the end. Don't worry, Miracle Dr. Lin. No matter what, please be merciful. House Lu will do anything for Mr. Lin in the future. Lu Qianyi quickly promised, but he was suddenly confused. A very important friend of Lin Yi pleaded on behalf of House Lu? So it wasn't Lu Jinghan? Then who was it? Lin Yi hung up. Lu Qianyi was still immersed in excitement and confusion, but he couldn't figure it out. He could only report the matter to Elder Lu Jianghu. Father, it's Qianyi. Miracle Dr. Lin called again. Lu Qianyi said excitedly after the call connected. Chapter 29-28. Miracle Dr. Lin said that he let Tianli go, and not only that, he let us continue to be in charge of Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company's business, but he named our Jing to be in charge of this. Lu Qianyi said. Let Jing be in charge? Alright, I got it. Jianghu nodded and didn't say anything else. Lu Qianyi, on the other hand, was taken aback. Since when did his father become so mysterious? Lin Yi's decision shocked everyone around Lin Yi, including Fatty Lai. Not only did he not punish House Lu, he even let House Lu continue to be in charge of Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company's business? How much trust did he have in House Lu? However, this was Lin Yi's decision, and even if Fatty Lai had doubts, he didn't dare question it. And so, out of the 1.5 billion that was given to Fatty Lai, 100 million was transferred to House Lu's account, to help House Lu's company make a comeback. Although 100 million was a little too small compared to 1.5 billion, House Lu's morale was greatly boosted by the return of the genius girl, Lu Jinghan. Especially the old employees who had followed Lu Jinghan to build the company, they were willing to follow Lu Jinghan to build the company again, even if they didn't have any salary or bonuses. Back then, Lu Jinghan relied on her own strength to build the company, and they trusted Lu Jinghan very much, and it was the same now. These things were finally over and Lin Yi could finally take a breather. Lin Yi, on the other hand, had finally returned to his school life, living the life of a first-line student in school, at the cafeteria, and at home. You're back. Wang Xinyan saw Lin Yi appear in the classroom, and she was a little surprised, but she kept a faint smile on her face. Yeah, I'm back. How's your body recently? Are you okay? Lin Yi asked. No, ever since I took that elixir there haven't been any problems. Wang Xinyan shook her head. That's good. Lin Yi let out a sigh of relief, but he was still worried. Xinyan's condition was only temporary, and he didn't know how long it would last. The jade on her had lost its effect, and Lin Yi had to find a replacement before the effect wore off. Xinyan's body was a ticking time bomb that could take her life at any moment. Lin Yi sat in the familiar seat. He subconsciously turned around and found that Han Jingjing was no longer there. In the past, every day before class, Lin Yi would subconsciously look at what Han Jingjing was doing, but now, I wonder what exactly is the 100% success rate invention that Han Jingjing is researching in seclusion? Has Kang Xiaolong been bothering you lately? Lin Yi asked after sitting down. Not really, but he called me once to ask about my health. Xinyan said. Then what did you say? Lin Yi asked. I told him the truth. After you helped me get the elixir, there hasn't been anything wrong with my body. Xinyan said. That's all? Lin Yi found it strange that Xiaolong was talking about such pointless things. Also, he asked me where I'm staying these days. Xinyan blushed. Xiaolong's question was a little annoying, but she was still his fiancée. She couldn't do anything about it. Ah, I knew it. Xiaolong wouldn't be that bored. So this is what he's after. Lin Yi understood. Looks like he still hasn't given up. But thinking about it, with his current position he wouldn't give up. He had a brother who was an elder of the Sky Elixir sect. That was a very prestigious position. Not to mention liking Xinyan, even if he didn't like her, he wouldn't easily give in to a random practitioner like Lin Yi. As they chatted, Boss Bai walked into the classroom. Seeing that Lin Yi had returned safely, he let out a sigh of relief. What he was most afraid of was that the Xianxin ancestor would do something to Lin Yi through the Sky Elixir sex trial, making Lin Yi unable to return. But now it seemed that the Xianxin ancestor still followed the rules. In fact, it wasn't that the Xianxin ancestor didn't want to, but that he didn't want Boss Bai to have a problem with him and affect the Wood Inheritor's plan. One had to know that the Wood Inheritor was the most difficult of all inheritors to inherit. The Xianxin ancestor had to be very careful. He wanted to kill Lin Yi, but he had to find a way to do it without anyone noticing. He couldn't even let Boss Bai suspect him. He had to make it look like something had gone wrong. The hidden Zhao family wanted to poison Lin Yi, which was a good opportunity for the Xianxin ancestor. If something happened to Lin Yi, he could completely blame it on the hidden Zhao family. Boss Bai wouldn't be able to contact him at all. Therefore, the Xianxin ancestor had been fighting all night in the Sutra Pavilion these days, looking for some ancient poison recipes. Lin Yi's ability couldn't be underestimated. If Lin Yi discovered the poison, it would lose its effect. However, hard work paid off. The Xianxin ancestor worked hard for 3 days and 3 nights, and he really found a suitable ancient poison recipe. Rather than saying it was a poison recipe, it was better to say that it was a different kind of prescription. This prescription, after taking it, wouldn't kill people, but it would seal the strength of cultivators below the heaven stage. In other words, the poisoned person couldn't circulate the mantra and couldn't mobilize the true qi in their body. At this time they would be completely the same as ordinary people. The most important thing was that there was no antidote for this poison. Even the inventor who concocted this poison back then didn't have an antidote. Wow! Seeing this poison recipe, the Xianxin ancestor laughed heartily. Lin Yi, you little bastard, I finally found a way to kill you. Boss Bai, you didn't even dream of it, right? You become a useless person, and your disciple will also become a useless person. I, Xianxin, am really an expert in creating useless people. Wow! After getting the poison recipe, the Xianxin ancestor left the Sutra Pavilion immediately and called his proud disciple, Kang Ming. Disciple Xiaoming pays respect to master. As soon as Kang Ming entered the door, he bowed to the Xianxin ancestor. Master, why are you looking for me? And I found that poison recipe. The Xianxin ancestor said and handed a copy of the poison recipe to Kang Ming. Chapter 29:29. But I hope that Boss Bai hasn't seen this poison recipe before. Otherwise he will definitely be suspicious, but it's not a big problem. This poison recipe is not unique to our 5-element sect, and the one who poisoned it is the hidden Zhao family. Boss Bai shouldn't be suspicious so easily, said Ancestor Xianxin. This poison recipe is too good. Any of the herbs in it are not poison, and they are not harmful to the human body. However, when mixed together, it will cause great harm to cultivators below the heaven stage. No matter how powerful and vigilant Lin Yi is, it's all in vain. He can't recognize this poison at all. After reading the poison recipe, Kang Ming praised. And you can give this poison recipe to the hidden Yu family, but don't mention my name, said Ancestor Shenshin lightly. Don't worry, Master. The boss Bai really suspects it, just push the blame to me. Anyway, everyone knows the hatred between me and Lin Yi. Even if Boss Bai knows that I did it, he can't do anything to me and he won't suspect much. After all, this kind of poison recipe is completely within the scope of my elder's responsibility. I can do it without anyone knowing, said Kong Ming as he patted his chest. And you can go. Ancestor Shenshin nodded with satisfaction. Kong Ming didn't delay. After leaving Ancestor Xuanshin's room, he directly called the Hidden Yu family. Elder Kong, is there any progress on the poison? Elder Yu saw that the call was from Kong Ming, so he picked up the phone and asked respectfully. And for this poison I spent a lot of effort. You also know that my position in the Heavenly Elixir sect is very sensitive. I definitely can't tell this to the young sect master. Even if the young sect master knows, he won't agree with me doing this. Kong Ming directly took all the responsibility on himself. Don't worry, Elder Kong. I know. Then, did you get the poison? Elder Yu asked carefully. I got it. This is a kind of ancient poison. The effect is like this. Kong Ming explained the effect of the poison to Elder Yu. Wonderful. Old Master Yu listened to Kong Ming's introduction of the poison prescription and was overjoyed. This is good stuff. If Lin Yi loses his strength, then anyone can kill Lin Yi. That's right, but you have to keep your mouth shut. Don't betray me. Kong Ming said. Elder Kong, I know what I'm doing, Old Master Yu said quickly. And? Kong Ming nodded and told Old Man Yu about the poison prescription. Old Master Yu quickly and carefully recorded the contents of the poison prescription. Then he quickly dialed Old Master Zhao's phone number. After Boss Bai saw Lin Yi, he didn't show any special expression. He just nodded to him and began to lecture. Students, the final exam is coming soon. Although the final exam is set by our class and there is only one subject, the difficulty is still very high. I don't want to see my students participate in the makeup exam. So, from now on, please listen to every word I say carefully. Boss Bai's words made all the students in the class pay attention. Only Lin Yi still had a very relaxed expression because Lin Yi could already be exempted from the exam. At this moment he was listening to the class purely out of interest. However, after that, Lin Yi felt a little bored. Because from today on, Boss Bai's class was a detailed review of what he had learned in this semester. There were no more examples of drawing inferences about other cases. There were only some key points of knowledge. These things Lin Yi had already mastered, so it was a little boring to listen to. Finally the class was over. Lin Yi said something to Wang Xinyan and then said goodbye to Boss Bai. He was ready to go home to study the refining of the jade space. However, just as he left the school gate, Lin Yi received a call from a strange number from Yanjing. Hello, how are you? Lin Yi picked up the phone and vaguely guessed who the owner of the phone was. Hello, is this Mr. Lin Yi? I'm Lu Jinghan. A pleasant female voice came from the other side of the phone. The voice was clean and comfortable, but Lin Yi was a little disappointed at this moment. This Lu Jinghan was probably not someone he was familiar with. Oh, it's Miss Lu. Do you know what I told your house, Lu? Lin Yi asked. Yes, Uncle has told Jinghan. Thank you, Mr. Lin, for sparing my father's life. Jinghan said. Jinghan will do her best to turn the situation around. Yes, I've heard about it. What kind of genius girl are you? I hope you won't let me down. Lin Yi didn't have a good or bad impression of Jinghan, so he spoke in a neutral tone. Jinghan will not betray Mr. Lin's trust. Jinghan was very calm, not too agitated. She looked like a calm and intelligent person. Alright, there's something fishy about your father Lu Tianli. After you take over the company, when the company is on the right track, look into it. Although Lu Tianli is in the wrong, I won't let go of the person who lied to him. Lin Yi reminded Jinghan. Of course, Lin Yi didn't have much hope in this. After all, Lu Tianli said that the company was registered in Bermuda. There were no clues at all. What Wolf's mother? It was definitely a fake name. Moreover, using a fake name like this was obviously a blatant mockery and disdain. This meant that the person was lying with an ulterior motive. People like this wouldn't leave any clues for others to find. The only useful thing was to wait for Lu Tianli to wake up and ask him if there were any other clues. Jinghan knows. Even if Mr. Lin didn't say anything, Jinghan would still investigate this. Jinghan replied. I won't say anything else. You house Lu, take care. Lin Yi said faintly and hung up. Back at home, Lin Yi could finally calm down and study the refining of the jade space. Lin Yi had always been looking forward to refining the space in the jade pendant. The two prerequisites for refining the jade space had already been met by Lin Yi. Although Lin Yi didn't have many materials on hand, it was enough to complete the first step of refining. Lin Yi was now at the perfect second stage of the art of dragon mastery. He could form the fire of forging. Chapter 29:30. However, there were too few cultivators who had all three true attributes. This was also the reason why blacksmiths were extinct. No wonder one of the prerequisites for condensing the space in the jade pendant was the completion of the second stage of the art of dragon mastery. It turned out that one could only become a blacksmith after attaining the second stage of the art of dragon mastery. However, the concept of blacksmiths was not mentioned in the method of condensing the jade pendant. The next step was for Lin Yi to begin condensing the forging fire. The forging fire was not like alchemy fire, which could be condensed into alchemy fire of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth attributes. There was only one type of forging fire, but it was not easy to successfully condense it. In the method of condensing the forging fire, there was a mantra for condensing the forging fire. Lin Yi followed the mantra and was ready to condense the forging fire for the first time. Originally, Lin Yi thought that he had met all the prerequisites and that condensing the forging fire would be a matter of minutes. However, when he actually condensed it, he realized that he had thought too simply. The forging fire was not so easy to condense. Although the forging fire did not have as many attributes as alchemy fire, Lin Yi discovered through the mantra that the forging fire was clearly a combination of the three attributes of metal, fire, and wood forming a flame. That was why it was called the forging fire. The process of condensing the forging fire was actually very similar to alchemy fire, but it was a little difficult to combine the three attributes of flames. The process of condensing the forging fire was actually very simple and could be said to be extremely easy. This was because the mantra for condensing the forging fire was actually a branch of the art of dragon mastery. It was the process of transforming the all-purpose true qi in one's body into the forging fire of the metal attribute, the forging fire of the fire attribute, and the forging fire of the wood attribute. This process was much easier than condensing alchemy fire. The only difficulty was that to become a qualified blacksmith, one had to be able to condense the forging fire of the three attributes in one's hands at the same time. Furthermore, in order to forge weapons, one must be able to freely control the intensity and temperature of the fire of each element in the forging fire. This was because during the forging process, there were times when the forging fire was required to have more metal attribute. Sometimes there were times when the forging fire was required to have more fire attribute or wood attribute. This was not constant, but could be changed at any time according to the needs of the forging. Now, not to mention that Lin Yi could change the intensity and temperature of one attribute at will, it was a very difficult task to condense the forging fire of the three attributes at the same time. Lin Yi experimented for a long time, and only managed to condense a single elemental fire. It wasn't hard for him at all, he just needed to use the chant and he'd be able to complete the conversion, but it wasn't that easy to condense three elemental fires. After trying for a long time, Lin Yi was so tired that he was sweating profusely. In the end, he could only condense the forging fire of two attributes. As long as he added a third attribute, Lin Yi would feel a little powerless, or in other words, he could not do three things at the same time. One of the forging fire would definitely be extinguished. As for changing the fire's intensity and temperature, he could do it easily if it was just a single elemental, since he was just using the art of dragon mastery to change it. But if it was a combination of two elements, he wouldn't be able to do it. If Lin Yi tried to change the intensity and temperature of one attribute, the other attribute would definitely be extinguished because of Lin Yi's distraction, let alone three attributes. This situation made Lin Yi, who had been tossing and turning for a day, extremely distressed, but there was nothing he could do. He knew that Rome wasn't built in a day, and everything had to be done in an orderly fashion. But he'd been training his martial arts so fast that he had the confidence that he could do anything he wanted. Now that his confidence had been shattered, he felt a little depressed. However, fortunately, when Lin Yi thought about his rubbish attainments in alchemy, this little setback was nothing. Jiao Lao being a blacksmith is too difficult. Forging fire of three attributes, and you can also change the intensity and temperature of each attribute at will. This is a little crazy. Lin Yi was tired for a long time. Condensing the forging fire also consumed a lot of physical strength and qi. So after Lin Yi exhausted his physical strength and qi, he returned to the space of the jade pendant to prepare to replenish the loss in his body. When he saw Jiao Yazi, he could not help but complain. Difficult? You call this difficult? Do you really not know how difficult it is to be a blacksmith? Jiao Yazi sneered and looked at Lin Yi with disdain. He said sarcastically, such a small difficulty is already difficult. Real blacksmiths don't deserve to live. What do you mean? Lin Yi was a little depressed about Jiao Yazi's attitude. This old guy has always been like this. If I don't ask, he won't answer. If I ask, he will either have an incomplete memory or he will ridicule me. Really amazing. I haven't recovered my memory yet, Jiao Yazi said. Can you not play with me? Lin Yi smiled bitterly. But don't you have the refining method of the essence necklace? There should be a blacksmith's mantra on it. Take a look and you will know, Jiao Yazi said. Although Lin Yi was angry at Jiao Yazi's attitude, he also knew that the current Jiao Yazi was just an illusion. It was completely unnecessary to argue with him, so Lin Yi could only give up. However, Lin Yi was still very curious about what Jiao Yazi said. So he opened the drawer and took out the refining method of the essence necklace that he got from the Tagunlong family scripture pavilion. He flipped through it. At the front, it was similar to the refining method of the jade pendant. There were some preparation materials and a description of the blacksmith's level. Wait, blacksmiths also have levels? Lin Yi looked at the description of the refining method of the essence necklace in shock. His eyes widened. There was no introduction in the refining method of the jade pendant. Either the art of dragon mastery differentiated blacksmiths differently from normal blacksmiths, or the refining of the space in the jade pendant could only be completed by the lowest level blacksmiths. Therefore, there was no explanation in the refining method of the jade pendant. After all, this refining method was only for cultivators of the art of dragon mastery, not blacksmiths. This was because blacksmiths could not possibly have the jade pendant that Lin Yi had. Chapter 29:31. As for the essence necklace, only a Huang-level blacksmith could condense and forge it. In the appendix behind the condensing method of the essence necklace, there was the mantra of a Huang-level blacksmith. Lin Yi looked at it curiously, but after a few glances, Lin Yi's expression became a little weird and helpless. At this moment, Lin Yi only wanted to say 4 words. It was really fucking difficult. This mantra of a blacksmith could be said to be extremely complicated. It was even more complicated than the most complicated mantra of alchemy that Lin Yi had seen. Not only was it extremely long, but the way it worked in the body was also incomparably strange. Not only that, there were also 3 different ways to control the fire's intensity and temperature of the 3 different attributes of the forging fire. Or rather, there were 6 different ways to control the fire's intensity and temperature. The corner of Lin Yi's mouth twitched twice. He could imagine that a blacksmith was forging a weapon, and he was chanting all kinds of mantra incessantly like chanting an incantation. If there was a slight mistake, all the previous efforts would be wasted. Lin Yi had the art of dragon mastery at least. Although it was also multitasking, changing the fire intensity and temperature completely depended on Lin Yi's will. There was no need to circulate these complicated mantras at all. As long as Lin Yi's will changed, the forging fire would also change. In comparison, Lin Yi's art of dragon mastery was really easy. If blacksmiths knew that there was such an easy way, they would definitely be envious to death. Seeing this, Lin Yi was really very lucky. He didn't know how lucky he was. Jiao Lao, you're really right. Mine is considered easy, Lin Yi said with a bitter smile. This time he didn't have any temper at all. Hee, is that so? Brat Lin, you're too impatient. You want to become a blacksmith in just a day and a half? You're looking down on the profession of blacksmith too much. Many famous blacksmiths in history only started to study and explore the art of blacksmithing after their lifespans were extended indefinitely. Jiao Yazi said. Alright, I was too impatient. Lin Yi nodded. In the past, cultivating martial skills had always been smooth sailing. This time Lin Yi was a little surprised. But after thinking it through, he naturally calmed down and restored his physical strength and true qi, preparing to continue practicing the condensation of the forging fire. Yushu received a text when she was in class. Her face changed slightly, but she recovered quickly. All of this happened in a split second, and Meng Yao didn't notice anything amiss. Yao Yao, I need to go to the washroom. Yushu looked at Meng Yao with a worried face. They're still in class? Are you sure you want to go now? Meng Yao was listening to the class and couldn't help but pause when she heard Yushu's words. Yeah, Shu can't hold it anymore, I'm about to pee my pants. Yushu said with a pale face. Alright, you go then. I won't be coming with you. Meng Yao stood up and asked Yushu to leave. Yushu stood up and quickly ran out of the class. The lecturer only glanced at her but didn't ask anything. University classes were long and each class was 2 hours long. It was normal for students to go to the washroom in the middle. If a girl was on her period, she would go to the washroom more often. The lecturer didn't bother to ask too much. However, when Yushu left the class, she didn't go to the washroom. Instead, she went to the balcony at the end of the corridor, took out her phone and quickly dialed a number. The call connected quickly, and a voice that Yushu hated to the bone but didn't dare show came from the other side. It was the voice of the hidden house Yue. Yushu, you're really quick this time. Yue was a little surprised at Yushu's speed. What's the matter? Yushu asked. If you want me to deal with Lin Yi, then forget it. I can't kill him. Deal with Lin Yi, forget it for now. The head of the house has said that this is not something you can participate in. You don't have to worry about it anymore, Yue said. Yushu was surprised and happy after hearing this, and finally let out a sigh of relief. However, she also understood that this should be the result that Lin Yi fought for. Lin Yi was now strong enough to kill Sky-class masters. It was a wise move for the hidden house Yu to give up on dealing with Lin Yi. But on the surface, Yushu was very indifferent. Oh, I understand. Is there anything else? Yes. Yue sighed and said, it's the thing I told you a long time ago. Now it's on the agenda. You should be prepared. Is it to marry that young prodigy, and then accept the inheritance? Yushu's heart trembled as she asked. Yes, that marriage and inheritance plan is about to begin. Your mission is also the same. Yue said. Will you follow the previous agreement and let my parents go and let me meet them? Yushu hesitated and asked. Of course it's not a problem to let them go, but to meet them at least after you have successfully accepted the inheritance. Yue said, you haven't completed your mission until you have successfully accepted the inheritance. Okay. Yushu sighed and asked, when are you leaving? Wait for my notice. This time I just want you to be mentally prepared. It will be a few months, at least a year or two at most. Yue said, don't tell anyone about this, including Lin Yi. I know. Yushu nodded and replied helplessly. Okay, I'm hanging up. Yue hung up as soon as he finished speaking. Yushu was left alone, standing on the balcony in a daze. After a while, she came back to her senses, put away her phone, and walked in the direction of the classroom. For the rest of the class, Yushu was a little absent-minded and she was not as lively as before. Mengyao was quite puzzled and couldn't help but ask after school, Shu, what's wrong? Is there something on your mind? What can I have on my mind, Yao sis? Why are you asking this? Yushu grinned. Naturally, she wouldn't admit it. Although the inheritance wasn't a secret, the hidden house Yu didn't allow Yushu to say it. Using her parents as a threat, Yushu naturally didn't dare to say it. In fact, Yue was also afraid that Lin Yi would cause trouble. Now that Lin Yi was not the same as before, if Lin Yi strongly stopped Yushu from accepting the inheritance, then Lin Yi would definitely be attacked by the Five-Element sect, but the hidden house Yu would also be implicated, and naturally the loss would not be worth the gain. Chapter 2932. Of course not. Yushu nodded. Fine. Mengyao could only let it go after hearing Yushu's words. She started to wonder if she was being too sensitive before. Right, Yao sis, Shield Bro is so strong now and he's about to step into Sky Class. Have you thought about what we should do in the future? Yushu pretended to be nonchalant as she changed the topic, but only she knew that she wasn't changing the topic at all. You're talking about the gap between us and Lin Yi, right? Mengyao was smart as well. She knew what Yushu was talking about the moment she mentioned it. Lin Yi was getting stronger and stronger, and the gap between them was getting more and more obvious. If it was just a difference in strength, then it would be fine. The girl was quiet and gentle, and it wouldn't be a problem if she didn't play with weapons. But the problem was that Lin Yi was already in Earth Class late phase, and it was only a matter of time before he stepped into Sky Class, and it wouldn't be long before that happened. Thus there was a problem. The moment a cultivator stepped into the heaven rank, their appearance would remain forever unchanged. Although they would still grow older, they would always look the same after stepping into the heaven rank. Mengyao and Yushu might not be able to see much of a gap between them and Lin Yi now, but what would they do when Lin Yi was in his 30s? Wouldn't they turn from a young girl to a young man then? But Lin Yi would still look like a young man, because Lin Yi would definitely step into Sky Class within these 2 years. Mengyao's face flashed with a hint of melancholy at the thought. There were some things that she wouldn't admit or think about in her heart, but she still cared about it. She didn't want the gap between her and Lin Yi to get bigger and bigger, she just didn't want it. Yeah, I'm a little envious of Xiao Xiao and Yun Yun sis. If there's a chance for Shu to accept the inheritance, she'll definitely go happily. Yushu said. Don't say that, it's not a good thing. Don't we still have to do something dangerous later? Mengyao glared at Yushu, annoyed. It was supposed to be a sad thing, but Yushu's words turned it into a happy one. Yao sis, I'm serious. Even if it's dangerous, it'll be worth it if we can get closer to Shield Bro. Yao sis. Why don't we find a chance to accept the inheritance? Yushu tempted. Shu, you have to know that not everyone can accept the inheritance. It requires a compatible constitution. How can we accept it just because we want to? Meng Yao smiled bitterly. Get rid of that unrealistic idea. Let Lin Yi find us some training arts suitable for our constitutions. That's the right thing to do. Maybe one of the sects will take a liking to Shu. Yushu said. Haha. Meng Yao and Yushu only remembered that Han Jingjing hadn't come today. They'd been riding her BMW X5M to and from school all this time. They weren't used to not seeing Han Jingjing's car all of a sudden. Only then did Meng Yao remember that they'd come to school in Lin Yi's Jeep this morning, and Lin Yi had told them that Han Jingjing was going into seclusion to research a new invention. She'd probably be in seclusion for a while. Lin Yi greeted Meng Yao and Yushu as they walked over. Lin Yi had come back from home to pick them up. Xiao Chao's in the car already? Meng Yao said as she glanced at the front passenger seat. Lin Yi nodded and turned to ask, Little Chao, how is your sister? I don't know, she went into her room and never came out. Xiao Chao said weakly as he put down the book in his hand. All right. Lin Yi couldn't ask too many questions to a bookworm like that. He probably didn't care about his sister's invention at all. It didn't make much of a difference to him. On the way home, Lin Yi's phone rang again. What surprised Lin Yi was that it was Zhao Qikuan. Qikuan, why were you calling at this hour? Lin Yi knew that Qikuan had been very busy lately, fighting with Zhao Qibing for the position of heir. Both of them were fighting openly and secretly at home, and he didn't have time to chat with Lin Yi. Boss, it's like this. This weekend, Grandpa's treating you to dinner at our hidden house, Zhao. Of course, if you don't like this place, you can go to another restaurant. Qikuan said excitedly. Grandpa said that he wants to confirm the relationship between you and our hidden house, Zhao, and also, confirm my position as the heir? Oh? Lin Yi paused. He didn't think that old Zhao would have made the decision already. Old Zhao had said that he would treat him to dinner as an apology, and his attitude towards Qikuan had changed a lot, but it seemed like he would still struggle for a few days. But now it seemed like it was settled. As for old Zhao saying that they could go to another restaurant, it was probably because he was afraid that Lin Yi would think that there would be a problem if he went to the hidden house Zhao's turf. But with Lin Yi's strength, a mere hidden house Zhao wasn't a threat at all. Naturally, Lin Yi agreed without hesitation. This weekend? What time exactly? Saturday 11 noon. Boss, you agree? Qikuan could tell from Lin Yi's tone that he had agreed. And let's go to your hidden house Zhao then. I'll be there around 10. Lin Yi said. Since it was an invitation from Qikuan, Lin Yi naturally had to give him face. After hanging up, Meng Yao asked, You have something going on this weekend? And Zhao Qikuan said that the hidden house Zhao invited me to dinner, so I have to go. Lin Yi nodded. You have something going on? It's nothing actually. It's just that Shu and I haven't gone shopping in a long time, and we want you to come with us. Meng Yao said. Oh, I'll go with you guys on Sunday then. Lin Yi nodded, thinking that it must have been hard on them. When he wasn't home, they were afraid of running into enemies and giving him trouble. They didn't even go to the mall. And by the way, Lin Yi, do you have a plan for our practitioner's arts? Meng Yao asked casually. After all, she cared a lot about Shu's suggestion. Chapter 2933. After all, practitioner's arts were different from martial arts. They had to keep training in one, and if they changed to something else halfway, the success rate would be extremely low. It'd be easy for them to lose all of their skills. Therefore, Lin Yi didn't dare to let them step onto the path of cultivation. Shield bro, what do you think about me and Yao Yao finding a place to receive our inheritances? Yushu said suddenly. Inheritances? Where? Lin Yi blinked. It's like going to some fire element or metal element sect to receive their inheritance. Yushu said. Shu, don't get carried away. Meng Yao kicked Yushu helplessly. Even if you've gone crazy thinking about strength, you don't have to be so unreasonable. Oh. Yushu shut her mouth in disappointment. Lin Yi shook his head with a smile, not taking Yushu's words seriously. After all, inheritances were something that anyone could receive. Then the Ice Palace and Yellow Earth High sects wouldn't have to spend so much effort to find inheritors. Alright, let's not think about that. I've reached the ancient level now. If there's a chance, I'll help you guys ask for a suitable practitioner's arts. Lin Yi comforted. Alright, there's no rush. Meng Yao didn't want to burden Lin Yi. She was worried, but she acted like she didn't care. Haha. Lin Yi knew the Miss Personality very well. He smiled mischievously and didn't expose her. Haha, what haha. The Miss blushed when Lin Yi saw through her. She glared at Lin Yi. Drive properly. Lin Yi was speechless. He couldn't even smile. Right, Shil bro, why did that old Zhao change his mind all of a sudden? Zhao Qibing came out just a few days ago. Yushu felt that the hidden house Zhao was a little strange. There's no conspiracy, right? Shu, why are you always talking about conspiracy theories? Mengyao didn't think much of it. Didn't House Zhao send us 200 million a few days ago? I just feel that something's up. Yushu said. Alright, I'll be careful then. Linny nodded. He had to admit that Yushu's sixth sense was quite accurate sometimes. He felt that House Zhao's attitude had changed a little too quickly, but House Zhuang and House Pai were just as quick to act as the wind blew. In the next few days, Linny asked for leave from Boss Bai. Apart from driving Mengyao and the others to and from school in the morning and evening, he spent the rest of his time at home practicing the forging fire. However, this wasn't something that could be achieved overnight, so Linny had to calm down and practice hard. In the blink of an eye, it was Saturday. Linny drove to the hidden Zhao family's manor early in the morning. But even though Linny left at 7 in the morning, it still took him more than 3 hours to reach the hidden house Zhao's manor. Perhaps it was because old Zhao had informed the guards, but the guards on the private road in front of the manor didn't stop Linny at all. They let him pass after seeing Lin Yi's car. At the entrance of the manor, Linny saw Zhao Qikuan waiting for him. Beside him was Elder Zhao and Qibing, who had an awkward look on his face. Boss. Qikuan was very excited to see Lin Yi's car. Lin Yi. Old Zhao looked a little embarrassed as well, but he still cupped his fists and said solemnly. This was a formal greeting to Lin Yi. He called him Lin Yi Sr., so naturally the hidden house Zhao recognized Lin Yi's identity. Haha, Lin Yi boss, nice to meet you. Qikuan thought that there was no turning back. After the awkwardness, he became more enthusiastic. Lin Yi boss, I heard that you came to me to help me break my legs? I wasn't there at the time, so forgive me. Do you have time today? Help me break my legs once? Qibing. Old Zhao frowned and glared at Qibing. Why are you bringing this up at a time like this? Lin Yi Sr. is here to eat. If you want to break your legs, you'll have plenty of chances in the future. Our hidden house Zhao is Lin Yi Sr.'s vassal house. Are you worried that you won't have a chance? Qibing was silent after hearing the old man's words, a flash of hatred in his eyes. He looked at Qikuan beside him but didn't say anything else. One had to admit that Qibing's acting was quite good, expressing his anger towards old Zhao but not daring to voice it out, as well as his anger towards Qikuan for taking his position as the heir of the house. It was very subtle, but it was very subtle. Qibing's hatred disappeared in a flash, but Lin Yi still caught it. However, it was easier for Lin Yi to understand the changes in House Zhao. It seemed that old Zhao's heart had shifted to Qikuan. Otherwise, Qibing wouldn't be this resentful, making a request like this regardless of the situation. It's fine. If you want to break my legs, you'll have plenty of chances in the future. Lin Yi said faintly with a wave of his hand. Senior Lin, I have already prepared a banquet in the banquet hall. Do you want to eat first, or do you want me to bring you around the house to take a look at the hidden treasure vault of our Zhao family? Old Master Zhao asked. Let's eat first. Lin Yi said. Right now, Lin Yi wasn't too curious about the hidden house's treasury. Lin Yi's strength had touched the ancient level, and so Lin Yi's horizons were much higher now. Plus, Lin Yi had seen most of the hidden house's treasures at the Hidden House Summit. Alright, this way please. Old Master Zhao nodded and made a pleased gesture. Lin Yi followed Elder Zhao to the hidden house Zhao's banquet hall, and saw Zhao Guangyin busying himself, personally directing the disciples to serve the dishes. Zhao Guangyin saw Lin Yi and walked over immediately. He said respectfully, Lin Yi Sr., you're here. Please take a seat. With that, Zhao Guangyin pointed at the head seat to Lin Yi, letting Lin Yi sit there. Lin Yi didn't try to be courteous. He came to House Zhao to take in a follower, so he didn't need to be polite. After sitting down, Lin Yi noticed that Qikuan and Qibing were standing at the side. Only old Zhao and Zhao Guangyin sat down after him. He couldn't help but feel strange. Qitan, why aren't you sitting? Chapter 29:34. Lin Yi smiled. It's fine, isn't it just a meal? We can all eat together, there's no need for a waiter. Aha, Senior Lin, you don't have to say anything. They're juniors, it's only natural for them to serve you tea. Old man Zhao laughed, waved his hand and said, Senior Lin, let Qitan pour some wine for you. All right. Since old Zhao had said so, Lin Yi didn't insist. This was hiding house Zhao and Lin Yi couldn't not give old Zhao face. After all, things were different now and house Zhao was Lin Yi's vassal house. Qitan, pour the wine, Qibing, take the dishes. There's so many dishes, help Senior Lin take some. Look after Senior Lin as well, if he runs out of wine, pour it immediately. Old Zhao ordered. Yes, Grandpa. Qikuan and Qibing replied at the same time. Senior Lin, since it's a family banquet, there's no need to be so formal. Do you think we can start eating? Old Zhao knew that Lin Yi didn't like those rules, so he asked directly. Sure. Lin Yi nodded. Let's eat. With that, Lin Yi started moving his chopsticks, picking up a piece of vegetable and putting it in his mouth. Old Zhao and Guanyin waited for Lin Yi to start eating before picking up their chopsticks. Qikuan, on the other hand, was busy pouring tea and wine for the three. Qibing, on the other hand, was busy putting food into Lin Yi and Old Zhao's bowl. Every time he took food there were two portions, one for Lin Yi and the other for Old Zhao. As for Guanyin, he didn't care. This was understandable. It was normal for Zhao Qibing to serve Lin Yi and Elder Zhao. Zhao Guanyin was the weakest of the two, so it was fine for him to take the food. If Zhao Qibing took the food too, it wouldn't be able to show off Lin Yi's high status. Old Zhao, on the other hand, was the head of the house and an old man. Qibing was doing this out of respect, and it was reasonable. Senior Lin, I, Zhao Guanyin, offer you a toast. After eating a few mouthfuls of food, Zhao Guanyin picked up his wine glass and stood up. He said to Lin Yi, previously our hidden Zhao family offended Senior Lin. We hope that Senior Lin will forgive us. We didn't recognize MT Tai before, but luckily for us, Hidden House Zhao has someone with good eyes, Zhao Qikuan. I believe that under Senior Lin's leadership, the Hidden Zhao family will definitely become stronger and stronger. You're welcome. Lin Yi didn't have a good impression of Guanyin before, but he felt that this guy was quite cruel, even wanting to kill Qin Shi. Now that he had accepted Qikuan's hidden house, he couldn't be too harsh on Guanyin. He said faintly, if Zhao Qibing can return to the hidden house, then Qin Shi can too, right? Is it possible for her to become the female head of the family? Zhao Guanyin hadn't expected Lin Yi to ask such a question. This wasn't within his expectations. He was at a loss for words and didn't know how to answer. Light Seal. Didn't you hear what Senior Lin said? Later we'll bring Qin Shi and her mother back to the family. From what I see, Qin Shi's mother is very virtuous, she's more than qualified to be your wife. Old Master Zhao glared at Zhao Guanyin. Yes. Senior Lin, father, I'll bring Qin Shi and her mother back to the hidden house tomorrow. Guanyin said quickly. Senior Lin, as for the position of head of the family. Old Zhao heard Lin Yi say that Qin Shi would be the female head of the family, and he looked troubled. Actually, during this banquet, I've decided to let Qikuan be the next head of the hidden house. Qin Shi, Elder Zhao's words made Qibing's face change. His hand shook and the food he picked up fell to the ground with a thud. It was obvious that he was shaking all over at this moment. Lin Yi saw Qibing's situation and frowned slightly. Could it be that Elder Zhao didn't say anything earlier and only announced his decision when he was invited to the banquet? Otherwise, why would Qibing react like this? Qibing, what are you doing? Old Zhao's eyes sharpened as he glared at Qibing. You can't even do a dish properly, what's the use of keeping you? Grandpa. I'm sorry, my hand shook. Qibing's face was very ugly and he was about to cry. Don't embarrass yourself. Although I plan to pass the position of successor to the young family head to Qi Tan, you will definitely be an elder in the hidden Zhao family. It's just that your relationship with Senior Lin wasn't good before, so I didn't place you in the position of successor to the young family head because I was protecting you. Do you understand? Old man Zhao snorted coldly and said, when you become the successor of the young master, Senior Lin will definitely not be happy. I understand, Grandpa. Qibing said, his face pale. Lin Yi looked at Qibing deep in thought. Although it all looked very real, Lin Yi felt that it was a little unnatural. Since old Zhao had already invited him to dinner and made House Zhao his vassal, then Qikuan's ascension was unstoppable. Even if Qibing was an idiot, he shouldn't be unable to understand this, right? Why did it seem like Qibing really didn't know about this, and was still fantasizing about him becoming the heir? But if he really looked into it, Lin Yi really couldn't see the reason. What was Qibing doing today? It seemed like Qibing's attitude wasn't bad. After being scolded by old Zhao, he started to seriously put food in Lin Yi's bowl. Although his face was still a little pale, he didn't ask any more questions. Qibing's speed wasn't fast, so every dish he took, Lin Yi would taste it. 1. It was to give face to House Zhao, and 2. It was because Lin Yi was really hungry. With Lin Yi's appetite, Qibing's way of putting food in was a little too little. It wasn't until Lin Yi had tasted all the dishes that Qibing asked, Senior Lin, what do you think is good? I'll put more in for you. They're all good. The chefs of House Zhao should be able to compete with 5-star hotels. They sure know how to enjoy themselves. Lin Yi was a master chef, and if even Lin Yi thought the dishes tasted good, the chef must be someone extraordinary. I'm sorry. If Senior Lin likes it, you can come here more often. Old Zhao smiled. Chapter 29:35. Lin Yi ate another round. It was almost enough. He was basically full, so he said, "Old Master Zhao, let's talk about serious business now?" "Yes, it's time to talk about serious business." Old Master Zhao narrowed his eyes and smiled, but his smile was particularly strange. "What are you laughing at?" Lin Yi frowned. "Lin Yi, how do you feel now?" Old Master Zhao suddenly asked. After hearing Old Master Zhao's question, Lin Yi was shocked. Previously, Old Master Zhao called him Senior Lin. Suddenly he called Lin Yi, which made Lin Yi feel that something was wrong. Moreover, Old Master Zhao asked him how he was. Could there be a problem? "What do you mean?" Lin Yi looked at Old Master Zhao coldly and asked, "Could it be that you want to play some tricks again?" "Hehe, Lin Yi, it's time for you to pay the debt you owe to our Zhao family." As Old Master Zhao said this, he stood up and looked at Lin Yi with a smile that wasn't a smile. He asked, "Lin Yi, don't you think there's anything wrong? You're poisoned." "Poisoned?" Lin Yi was stunned and immediately asked, "You poisoned the food?" However, although Lin Yi asked this, he didn't believe it. After all, Lin Yi lived in a medicine pot since he was young. He was quite sensitive to poison. If there was poison in the food, he would definitely notice it. It wouldn't be like now where he didn't notice it. Moreover, Lin Yi's jade pendant had an early warning function. If the food was really poisonous and could kill him, there would definitely be an early warning. However, Lin Yi hadn't received any warning signal until now, so this was also the reason why Lin Yi didn't believe it. "Not bad, you can give it a try. Circulate the mantra and see what happens?" Old Master Zhao looked at Lin Yi and said calmly. "Circulate the mantra?" Lin Yi subconsciously activated the art of dragon mastery, but in the next moment he was shocked to find that he couldn't move the qi in his body at all. The art of dragon mastery didn't work at all. What was going on? Lin Yi was shocked. It was as if the vital energy in his body was being suppressed by something. Not only could he not circulate the mantra, but Lin Yi even discovered that he could not condense the most basic vital energy bomb. "What do you think? You can't take it anymore, right? Have you become a soft-footed shrimp?" Ah. When Old Man Zhao saw Lin Yi's expression, he knew that Lin Yi had fallen for the trick. Needless to say, the poison provided by the Hidden Yu family was really useful. "How did you do it?" Lin Yi asked with a gloomy expression. "This poison is an ancient poison. However, it is not a poison because it will not cause you to die, nor will it affect your normal life. It will only suppress your strength and make you an ordinary person who cannot use your strength." Old Man Zhao explained. "What? Ancient poison?" Lin Yi's eyes swept across the dishes on the table. Lin Yi had eaten every dish on the table, but Lin Yi couldn't tell which dish was the problem. That was impossible. Even if it wasn't poison, as long as it would harm his body, why didn't the jade warn him? "That's right, ancient poison. You don't need to look at it. Actually, I poisoned them separately. Each herb is actually not poisonous, but when mixed together, it will become poison." Old Man Zhao said faintly, "This method of poisoning, Lin Yi, you should be familiar with it, right?" Zhao Yaowang. Lin Yi suddenly remembered that when he was in Songshan's first high school, there was a mass poisoning incident. At that time, Zhong Pingliang used the deadly 7 herbs poison that Zhao Yaowang had given him and put it in each dish one by one, using the mixing method to poison them. "Ah, looks like you're not stupid. You could cure the poison last time, but not this time because there's no cure." Elder Zhao laughed. "Lin Yi, how is it? You didn't think of this even in your dreams, did you?" "Haha, just now, I told Qibing to put in each dish for you so that you would be poisoned unknowingly. I didn't expect Zhao Yaowang to have this kind of ability, I forgot about it." Lin Yi didn't think much of it this time. After all, Zhao Yaowang had used the same method to poison others before, so naturally, Lin Yi thought that it was Zhao Yaowang who made the poison. Lin Yi, on the other hand, finally understood why there was no warning. Because there was no problem with the herbs in this poison. He ate them separately and there was no danger when he ate each dish separately. Although the jade pendant could warn him of danger, it couldn't intelligently analyze the poison dishes when they were mixed together. Moreover, perhaps it was because this poison wasn't poison at all, but a type of medicine. It wouldn't bring any danger to Lin Yi, so the jade pendant ignored it. No matter what, Lin Yi still fell for it. But Lin Yi felt strange. "Old Man Zhao, when Zhao Qibing gave me the dish, you ate it too. I saw you eat it, so I ate it. Since there's no cure for this poison, why are you fine after eating it?" "Ha ha ha, idiot." Old Man Zhao continued laughing. "This poison only works on practitioners below sky class. It's useless for those above sky class, it's automatically dissolved. Unfortunately, although I'm only sky class early phase, I'm a true sky class master. And you, although you can kill a sky class mid-phase master, you're still an earth class late phase master. So, this poison doesn't work on me but it works on you. What do you think? You were tricked, right? You ate it just because I ate it? Lin Yi's mouth twitched. He didn't think that old man Zhao would be so sinister, scheming like this. He couldn't help but smile bitterly. It seems like you didn't plan to call me boss at all. You've always treated me as an enemy. Lin Yi asked this, but in reality he was stalling for time to find a solution. But what made Lin Yi helpless was that no matter how he looked, he couldn't find an effective solution. This poison, just like what old man Zhao said, couldn't be cured. He was an Earth-class late-phase master and his strength was stuck here. What could he do? Even if he could find a solution, at least there wasn't a good one right now. That's right, Lin Yi, you think too highly of yourself. I'm a Sky-class master. Do you think I'll give in to you? Old man Zhao humphed coldly. Today we'll settle old and new debts together. Zhao Qibing, take him down. Chapter 2936. Lin Yi was shocked. Sadly, he realized that he couldn't even fight back against Qibing. Lin Yi's body was considered strong among normal people, but facing an Earth class like Qibing, Lin Yi had no way of fighting back. Qikuan was stunned. He never would have thought that his grandpa was lying to him. He had been lying to him all this time. Grandpa didn't want Lin Yi to be the boss at all, making him the head of the house and building a good relationship with Lin Yi. It was all fake. He was just using him. But Qikuan just kept his head down. He wasn't the rash Qikuan he used to be. After the house arrest, he had become more mature and he wouldn't do anything rash. Qikuan was thinking about how to solve this crisis. With his strength, even if he fought with old Zhao, it wouldn't help at all. Other than losing his life, it wouldn't help at all. But Lin Yi couldn't use his strength right now. He was like a fish on a chopping board here. Even Qibing could easily control Lin Yi, so it was impossible for Lin Yi to turn things around. Qikuan, what do you think? Qikuan didn't say anything, but old Zhao looked at Qikuan with a smile that wasn't a smile. Grandpa, as the heir of the hidden house Zhao, naturally I would put the house's interests first. Grandpa's decision is my decision. Qikuan said. Ha. Qibing heard Qikuan's words. Was Qikuan an idiot? Couldn't he tell that it was all an act? He still wanted to be the head of the house? But Qibing was about to say something when old Zhao cut him off with a look. Old Zhao looked at Qikuan interested. Oh? So you're saying that for the hidden house's interests you can kill Lin Yi? Of course. Qikuan said firmly. House Zhao's blood flows in my veins. I am a disciple of House Zhao. Grandpa, although I don't feel good about you using me to plot against Lin Yi, I understand that you want to kill Lin Yi. So, I've decided to stand on your side. Is this what you really think? Elder Zhao, on the other hand, didn't expect that Qikuan would do this, publicly breaking up with Lin Yi. Wasn't this too much of a drama? I know, Grandpa, that with just one level 3 pill, it's impossible for you to pass the position to me, but I can't deny that Zhao Qibing and I have the same starting point. Although he's stronger than me because of the pill, I've participated in 2 tests, and I have more experience than him. I also have Zhao Qijio, an unknown helper, so I'm not weaker than him. I have the right to compete. Qikuan said slowly. Grandpa, I'm just asking you to give me a fair chance. Haha, of course. Old Zhao laughed suddenly. It's good that you can think that way. We, the hidden houses, follow the rule of survival of the fit. There's only motivation when there's competition. Grandpa. Qibing's face changed. He didn't think that old Zhao would agree to Qikuan's request, but that wasn't what he said before. Qibing, I know what you're thinking, but Qikuan's right, you have the same starting point as him. You've both contributed to the hidden house, so you can't ask others not to compete with you. Old Zhao said. Yes. Qibing said helplessly. He didn't know why old Zhao changed his mind, but he couldn't just disobey. He could only nod. Lin Yi was a little angry at Qikuan's sudden change, but after calming down, Lin Yi realized that something was wrong. Qikuan didn't know what happened today, he was kept in the dark. Otherwise this wouldn't have happened. And Qikuan, under these circumstances, had betrayed the hidden house Zhao. It seemed a bit strange. Lin Yi knew Qikuan's personality, and there had to be some other reason behind this. As a result, Lin Yi didn't say anything, choosing to wait and see. What happened today was a blessing, not a curse, and if it was a curse he couldn't avoid it. Since he was already poisoned, he had no other choice but to get through this first. Qikuan, although I think that you're speaking the truth, in order to test you and prove that you have the right to be the successor of the hidden house, you and Qibing will kill Lin Yi now. Old Zhao said as he looked at Qikuan. This was old Zhao's true goal. He wanted Qikuan to kill Lin Yi, and Lin Yi would be in a lot of pain, wouldn't he? Watching his own follower betray him, raising a butcher's knife at him. How cruel was that? No problem. Qikuan agreed quickly. Grandpa, do you really think I wanted him to be my boss before? I didn't have a choice. You accepted Zhao Qibing back into House Zhao and made him the first heir to the young master position. What could I do? In order to protect myself, I had to find another way and make Lin Yi my boss, but I still wanted to be the head of the hidden house. Now that I have this chance, I have to treasure it. So, Qibing doesn't need to do anything, I can do it myself. Oh? Yourself? Alright then, go kill Lin Yi. Old Zhao looked at Qikuan, surprised, but nodded. Yes, thank you for giving me this chance to wash away my shame. Qikuan cupped his fists in gratitude. I've wanted to kill Lin Yi for a long time. I'm a disciple of a hidden house. It's so embarrassing to have a solo practitioner as my boss. Qikuan's words stunned Qibing. Was this really Qikuan? Could it be that this was the real him and the one before was just a facade? If that was the case, then wasn't Qikuan too scheming? He'd been hiding it all this time, making Lin Yi his boss because he had no other choice, and his goal was to return to the hidden house one day? At the thought, Qibing looked at his grandpa and the two understood each other. This Qikuan was too scary. Qikuan, very good, very good. No wonder I always felt that your attitude towards me was fake. It was all fake. It seems that I've misjudged you. Lin Yi looked at Qikuan suddenly. Chapter 2937. Old Zhao looked at his grandson, shocked as if he didn't know him. With that, Qikuan walked up to Lin Yi and raised his fist, ready to attack Lin Yi. But as he raised his fist, he put it down. Qikuan, why aren't you attacking? Old Zhao frowned. Grandpa, if Lin Yi dies in our hidden house, it'll be bad for us. Qikuan said suddenly. Bad? Then what do you mean? Old Zhao looked at Qikuan coldly. Could it be that everything you said before was fake? Your real goal is to let Lin Yi go? Qikuan's heart skipped a beat, but his face didn't change. How is that possible? I just want to say that Lin Yi's identity is a little sensitive now. He has followers in the ancient world too. For example, Feng Shipian of the hidden Feng family and Li Siba of the ancient Holy Fist Palace. These two are Sky Division masters. If they really want to cause trouble for the hidden Zhao family, we won't be able to handle it. Plus, there's also the young master of the Yellow Soil High Sect, Tuoyuo Wang, who received Lin Yi's grace before. He's like his name, overbearing, a little tyrant. If he knew that Lin Yi died in our hidden house and came for revenge, we wouldn't be a match for him. Old Zhao heard this, and it was like a bucket of cold water had been poured over his head. He calmed down immediately. He wasn't an idiot, he wanted to deal with Lin Yi, yes, but he couldn't deal with Lin Yi and get himself an enemy he couldn't handle. Qikuan's words weren't without reasons. It was easy for an ancient sect to take out a hidden house, and old Zhao had to be cautious. Then what do you mean? Let Lin Yi go just like that? Of course not to let him go. I used to be his little brother, so I know him very well. Although this poison is said to be an ancient poison, no one can guarantee that Lin Yi can cure it. So I think we should cripple Lin Yi and then let him go. Qikuan said, Lin Yi has too many enemies. It's not just our hidden house Zhao. There's the hidden house Yu, the Qianshan sect, the Golden Bell sect, and the Everyday sect. Any one of them can easily kill Lin Yi. Why should we be the bad guys? Cripple? Old Zhao heard Qikuan's words, and his suspicions disappeared. He nodded and continued, then how do we do that? We'll break his limbs and shatter all his meridians. That way, even if Lin Yi has a way to break through the poison, he won't be able to use the practitioner's arts anymore. Qikuan said. Yes, that's a good idea. As long as we spread the news of Lin Yi being crippled and poisoned, naturally people would go after Lin Yi and we wouldn't need to do anything. Old Zhao nodded. Alright, if that's the case, go do it. In fact, old Zhao wanted to kill Lin Yi on the spot, but there were too many people who knew about this. If Lin Yi's little brother really came for revenge, then House Zhao wouldn't be able to handle it. They could only go with the second best option. Fortunately, Qikuan's idea wasn't bad at all. Just crippling the meridians isn't enough, we need the Dantian as well. Zhao Qibing interrupted, even if his meridians are destroyed, a part of it can still be healed with the Great Recovery Pill. If it's healed, then Lin Yi might have some kind of magical method to practice. If we destroy his Dantian as well, then he won't be able to dissolve any pills. Even if he ate the Great Recovery Pill, it'd be a waste, he won't be able to recover. Qikuan's face changed. He had come up with so many plans just to protect Lin Yi. He knew that Lin Yi had a way to quickly recover, and so he came up with the idea of crippling the meridians. Of course, he didn't know that Lin Yi's meridians were all crippled, and couldn't be healed without the practitioner's arts. He had only come up with a plan that could protect Lin Yi the best he could, preventing Lin Yi from dying on the spot. He didn't think that Qibing would be so evil as to add a crippled Dantian. Lin Yi's heart skipped a beat, and his face turned extremely ugly. When Lin Yi heard about crippling the meridians, Lin Yi knew that Qikuan wasn't a traitor, but was trying to help him out of danger. And Lin Yi had thought of a way to deal with this poison. Lin Yi's inspiration came from a poison called the 5-step disperser. He'd been poisoned. He'd used a qi-gathering pill to break through the level limit and neutralize the poison in order to get rid of the poison. Now, Lin Yi could use a qi-gathering pill or something like that to break through the level limit. As long as Lin Yi reached Sky Class, then this ancient poison would be useless. Just like old Zhao, wasn't he fine now? And so, after hearing Qikuan's words, Lin Yi breathed a sigh of relief. As long as he could get out of here, there was still a way to save himself. As long as he used a great recovery pill to repair a small part of his meridians, then he would use a qi-gathering pill to break through the level limit. Then, Lin Yi would be able to use his qi to repair his body and meridians. What he didn't expect was that Qibing would come up with another method, crippling his dantian. Once a pill entered a practitioner's body, it would dissolve in the dantian. If the dantian was destroyed, then the pill would be useless. Lin Yi couldn't use a great recovery pill to repair his meridians, nor could he use a qi-gathering pill to break through the level limit. Yes, there's still the dantian. Qikuan naturally couldn't argue with this. Hurry up, you hit the arm, I'll hit the leg, Qibing said excitedly. Aren't I supposed to do it alone? Qikuan frowned. So what if it's anyone else? It's better to have fun with everyone. Qibing was getting impatient. Are you going to fight or not? If not, I'll go first. With that, Qikuan lifted his leg and kicked at Lin Yi's leg. Chapter 29:38. Now that he was crippled, Elder Zhao had nothing to fear, so Lin Yi didn't bother dodging. He just stood there and let them beat him. Although it was painful to break his dantian, there was still hope as long as he could make it back alive. Crack. With a crisp sound, Lin Yi's right leg was broken by Qibing's kick. You bastard, Lin Yi, I told you to hit my leg, did you enjoy it? Now it's my turn. Go die. With that, Qibing raised his leg and kicked at Lin Yi's left leg. Crack. With another crisp sound, Lin Yi's left leg was broken as well. With both legs broken, Lin Yi fell to the ground, but Lin Yi didn't even make a sound as he endured the pain. I stomp. I stomp. I stomp, stomp, stomp. Zhao Qibing was addicted to breaking his legs, jumping up and down excitedly. He stepped on Lin Yi's broken legs, stomping back and forth as he shouted excitedly. It was as if he was playing a very interesting game. Lin Yi laid on the ground, expressionless. Today's events had taught Lin Yi a lesson. Even if it was his follower, he had to be vigilant because his follower might be kept in the dark. Qikuan's heart was about to explode as he watched Lin Yi stomp on him. But seeing that Lin Yi didn't cry out in pain, Qikuan was impressed. He didn't think that Lin Yi could still be so strong without qi protection. In fact, this bit of pain was nothing to Lin Yi. It was much more painful when he used the compressed qi bomb. Lin Yi survived it, but Lin Yi regretted not wearing the golden cicada underwear. After the test, Lin Yi took it off. But, thinking about it, even if Lin Yi wore it, Elder Zhao was a Sky Class early phase. Lin Yi wouldn't be able to leave unscathed. Qikuan naturally couldn't show any sympathy. Seeing Lin Yi stomp on Lin Yi, he pretended to be excited and stepped on Lin Yi's arm. Lin Yi, I've been pissed at you for a long time. What right do you have to be my boss? What the hell, I'll stomp you to death. Crack. Another crisp sound and Lin Yi's arm broke as well. Zhao Qikuan, very well, I've finally seen through you. Lin Yi's voice was very cold, making Qikuan shiver. But Qikuan didn't believe that Lin Yi couldn't tell that he was faking it. From the way Lin Yi said that he was acting, Lin Yi probably knew that he was trying to save him. Is that so? But I'm sorry, it's too late. With that, Qikuan stepped on Lin Yi's other arm, and with another crisp crack, Lin Yi's left arm broke as well. Humph. Lin Yi humphed coldly, not saying anything else. Qikuan walked away after stomping on Lin Yi's leg, unlike Qibing, who wanted to do a zombie dance on Lin Yi's leg. Lin Yi's leg bones were cracking under his feet, as if they were about to break into pieces. You're done? I'll keep stomping then. Qibing evidently didn't feel like stomping on Lin Yi's legs. He ran over and took over Qikuan's job, stomping on Lin Yi's arms as well. What's the point? Stomp him to death if you can. Qikuan curled his lips, looking at Qibing in disdain. Don't provoke me, you think I don't dare? Qibing humphed coldly, pissed off at Qikuan's questioning. Then do it. As long as you announce to the public that you have nothing to do with the hidden house Zhao, then Lin Yi's ancient follower will come for revenge, and I won't have to compete with you for the position anymore. Qikuan said nonchalantly. Do you think I'm an idiot? Qibing stomped 2 more times before walking to the side, disinterested. He said to old Zhao, Grandpa, I'll leave breaking the meridians and Dantian to you. If I can't do it well, Chikuan won't be able to either. Elder Zhao looked at the two grandsons mocking each other, but his face didn't show any expression. He only nodded, stood up and walked in front of Lin Yi, reaching out his hand and started hitting Lin Yi's body. Breaking someone's meridians was a difficult job, but of course if Lin Yi didn't have pure qi protecting his body, it would be much easier. All old Zhao had to do was find the right spot and hit him. And so, old Zhao broke all of Lin Yi's meridians and broke Lin Yi's dantian before standing up, satisfied. Qibing, Chikuan, send Lin Yi home. He's our guest, of course we have to send him home. Yes, Grandpa. Qibing and Chikuan cupped their fists. Elder Mian, spread the news of Lin Yi being poisoned, especially to Ganshan sect, Golden Clock sect, Hidden House Yu and Hidden House Yu. Don't miss it. Old Zhao continued. Yes, Master. Elder Mian nodded. Lin Yi, on the other hand, was carried out of Hidden House Zhao by Qibing and Chikuan. Qibing smiled as he walked, but his eyes were cold when he looked at Chikuan. He felt that Chikuan had stolen his position as the young master, and he wasn't happy about it. After leaving, he couldn't help but mock him. Some people really are unscrupulous in order to get a position, betraying their own boss. What a weirdo. A wise man submits to circumstances. Zhao Qibing, you're just a bastard, what right do you have to fight me? Chikuan smiled coldly. Even if I'm a bastard, I'm still the son of the current young master Zhao Guangyin. You, on the other hand, are just a side-branch disciple. Qibing curled his lips. They got in the car, and Qibing drove while Chikuan escorted Lin Yi from the back. They returned to Lin Yi's villa in the Shueshang district, and without knocking, Qibing blared the car's horn. It was as if a train was coming. Not just the people in Lin Yi's villa, but even the people in the surrounding villas were deafened. Is there something wrong with him? Who's looking to die driving a train here? Before anyone came out of Lin Yi's villa, one of the residents who was on their way home saw a Porsche Cayenne blaring its horn in front of them. The sound was deafening and he was furious. Chapter 29:39. Clang, clang, clang. A muscular man wearing a black singlet with a crew cut and tattoos on his arms got out of the Aston Martin. He smashed the window of Qibing's Cayenne driver's seat as he cursed. You little bastard, you don't know how to show off now that you have some money? Fuck you, get out of the car. After returning to the hidden house, Qibing rarely caused trouble in the common world. After all, he was in the hidden world and he had to be careful about the hidden rules. He didn't want to talk to this man, but he didn't expect him to curse at his grandpa. Wasn't that the same as cursing at old Zhao? If he didn't do anything, Chikuan might go back and complain to old Zhao about him, and he'd die in vain. And so, Qibing opened the door and jumped out of the car, sending the man flying with a kick to his chest. He spat out a mouthful of blood before landing heavily on his sports car with a loud crash. His eyes rolled back as he fainted. Qibing's eyes rolled back as he looked at Qibing. Qibing's eyes flashed as he jumped off the car. What the hell, you overestimate yourself, cursing at me? If it weren't for the fact that I'm fighting for the head of the house, I'd kill you right now. Qibing humphed coldly, not caring about the man anymore. Originally, many of the neighbors heard that Zhao Qibing had been using his horn to disturb the people, and they wanted to join the brawny man in attacking Zhao Qibing, but they didn't think that Zhao Qibing would raise his leg and easily send the brawny man flying. They didn't know if he was dead or alive, and they all retreated in fear. The residents all knew how strong the bulky man was. He was a gangster who could take on 10 people at once, and he was even a Sanda coach. Someone like that was sent flying by Zhao Qibing. What kind of strength did he have to have? At that moment, Yushu came out and saw Qibing kick the man. She frowned. Little Zhao, what are you doing here? Didn't you treat Shield Bro to dinner? Aha, isn't this Yushu? Qibing looked at Yushu, a cruel smile on his face. That's right, Lin Yi finished his meal and we sent him back. Chitan returned Lin Yi to Miss Qin. Chikuan wasn't willing, but there was nothing he could do. He lifted Lin Yi off the car, and in order to prevent Qibing from noticing, he slammed Lin Yi onto the ground in front of the villa. There was a loud thud under Yushu's feet. Shilbro, what happened? Yushu and Meng Yao were shocked to see Lin Yi's hands and feet covered in blood, his face pale as a sheet. Zhao Qikuan, what's going on? What did you do to Lin Yi? The reason why Meng Yao asked Qikuan what he did to Lin Yi and not what happened to Lin Yi was because Qikuan had thrown Lin Yi to the ground, and that wasn't befitting of a follower. Meng Yao, Yushu, can't you tell? Qikuan has betrayed us and has returned to the hidden house Zhao. I'm not afraid to tell you that Lin Yi is like this because of Qikuan. Qibing didn't forget to smear Qikuan's face. You. Meng Yao was both angry and worrying. She didn't think that Qikuan would betray them, and Lin Yi was beaten up like this after just one meal. Evidently, with Lin Yi's strength, it was impossible for the Zhaos to hurt him, unless it was a trap. But the person Lin Yi was least guarded against was Qikuan, so naturally Meng Yao thought that it was Qikuan who did this to Lin Yi. How can you be so ungrateful? Lin Yi has always treated you well, and you betrayed him at a critical moment. Miss Chu, they say that a wise man submits to the circumstances. I have the chance to become the head of the hidden house Zhao, why wouldn't I do it? Qikuan humphed coldly. If there's nothing else, I'll be leaving first. You guys take one last look at Lin Yi. Lin Yi's enemies will be here soon, and when that happens, humph. Qikuan's tone was cold, but he was actually reminding Meng Yao and Yushu to think of a way, but he couldn't say it out loud, so he could only use this method to remind them. Meng Yao was infuriated. She didn't think that Qikuan would betray them like this. Fine, do you think I want to stay here? Qikuan said faintly before turning to get in the car. Lin Yi knew that Qikuan was innocent, but he couldn't explain in front of Qibing. He could only let him leave. But Qibing wasn't going to let it go just like that. His eyes were still on Yushu, revealing an evil look. Yushu, I didn't dare touch you before, but this time no one can save you. Qibing's voice was filled with rage. You little bitch, you came to my company wanting to see the building collapse, hitting my legs and my head with a stick. Do you really think I'm afraid of you? If it wasn't for Lin Yi protecting you, do you think you'd still be alive today? Although I don't dare kill Lin Yi right now, I don't have to worry so much if I kill you. You're just a girl from the common house Qin, you'll die for nothing. Qibing hated Yushu to the bone, and he'd wanted to kill her for a long time. This girl dared to come to his company and watch the building collapse, and even set him up for a beating. If he didn't kill her, he'd be letting Lin Yi down. Qibing, don't go too far. Lin Yi hadn't said anything, but he couldn't hold it in anymore. Lin Yi could accept it if Qibing attacked him, but attacking Yushu and Meng Yao was something Lin Yi couldn't tolerate. Don't forget, I still have some ancient level underlings. If you really want to make a move, think about what's waiting for you. Are you trying to scare me? Qibing wasn't moved at all. He glared at him and smiled. Ancient underlings? That's yours, not Yushu's. I don't believe your ancient underlings can avenge her. If your ancient underlings were that useful, why didn't you contact them? I didn't take away your phone on the way back, and I didn't stop you from contacting others. Do you think I don't know that? Don't use your broken arm as an excuse. I know you can call them if you want. Call me when your arm is broken. Lin Yi was a little annoyed. Qibing, I advise you to stop. Chapter 2940. Qikuan was panicking as well. He wanted to stop them, but he wasn't as strong as Qibing, so there was no point in stopping him. Plus, he was a spy, and he had to maintain this identity in order to find a way to save Lin Yi. But, watching Yushu get beaten up with his own eyes was still painful for Qikuan. But at this critical moment, a loud roar sounded. Roar! The purple thunderbolt beast sensed the danger at the villa's doorstep and rushed out with General Wei Wu towards Zhao Qibing, who was about to rape Yushu. Roar! Roar! The purple thunderbolt beast sensed the danger at the villa's doorstep and rushed towards Zhao Qibing, who was about to rape Yushu. The arrival of the purple lightning beast and General Wei Wu made Lin Yi heave a sigh of relief. He knew that these two spirit beasts wouldn't just sit there and watch and would definitely come to save Yushu, but that was just a guess. Only when they really came would Lin Yi be at ease. Qikuan breathed out in relief as well, remembering that Lin Yi had a backup plan. If it weren't for these two spirit beasts, Yushu would have been in danger today. But what Lin Yi and Qikuan didn't expect was that Qibing wasn't afraid at all. Instead, he started laughing. I knew you stupid spirit beasts would come. Zhao Qibing smiled coldly as he waved his hand, scattering the powder in his hand towards the two spirit beasts that were running towards him. You think I didn't prepare anything before killing Yushu here? The two spirit beasts were hit by the powder and fell to the ground, unconscious. This happened in an instant and everyone was shocked. Zhao Qibing naturally came prepared. The powder in his hand was provided by Master Wu of the Qianshan sect. It could be used on all spirit beasts below the earth class. As long as the spirit beast was sprinkled with the powder, it would fall into a deep sleep and wake up naturally after an hour. It wouldn't cause any damage to the spirit beast, but it could make it faint temporarily. There wasn't much of this powder, and if it weren't for the fact that they had to deal with Lin Yi, they wouldn't have taken it out. Yushu, let's see who can save you now. Your spirit beast is done for, isn't it? Qibing said proudly. Now hurry up and accept your death. Fuck. You little Zhao, are you trying to act cool? Do you think I won't dare to hit you a second time? Yushu didn't know when the steel rod appeared in her hand, but she was about to swing it at Zhao Qibing. It turned out that Skybolt's pig had seen that things weren't looking good from afar, so he'd brought the mystical steel rod over. Qibing thought that Yushu was just putting up a last-ditch struggle. As far as he was concerned, his punch on Yushu's body would be much stronger than Yushu's stick. He might even be able to kill Yushu on the spot, and Yushu might not even be able to hit him with the stick. And so, Qibing didn't dodge. He threw it straight at Yushu. Bang! It wasn't the sound of Qibing's fist hitting Yushu's body, but the sound of Yushu's mystical steel rod hitting Qibing's head. Ah! Zhao Qibing cried out in pain. His head was bleeding from Yushu's punch, and although his fist landed on Yushu's body, other than taking 2 steps back, she didn't seem to be injured at all. Qibing looked at Yushu in disbelief. How was this possible? He didn't use any martial arts, but his fist of Earth-class early-phase Qi should have crippled Yushu even if she didn't die. How could she be fine? Qibing, on the other hand, was bleeding from his head. Wah! Die! Zhao Qibing was enraged. He charged at Yushu with his claws and fangs bared. He wanted to kill Yushu. Stop! At this moment, before Zhao Qibing could reach Yushu again, a black figure suddenly appeared in front of her, blocking her way. Gah! Qibing was surprised, but he wasn't an idiot. He quickly stopped himself because the black figure in front of him had the strength of a sky-class early phase. But when Qibing saw the face of the person in front of him, he froze. This person was Yu Yi from the Hidden House Yu, the sky-class master who followed Elder Yu all the time. Qibing had been to the Hidden House Yu before and naturally he had seen this Yu Yi. But he didn't know why Yu Yi was here. Isn't this Mr. Yu Yi? From what I know, the Hidden House Yu has a grudge against Lin Yi, right? Why are you here? Qibing didn't understand why Yu Yi suddenly stopped him. Lin Yi, on the other hand, was surprised at Yu Yi's appearance. Could it be that Yu Ning sent him to help him? But thinking about it, it wasn't very likely. Yu Yi was Yu Xing's personal follower, and his position in the Hidden House Yu was very high. Even the head of the house, Yu Shaochen, couldn't order him around, let alone Yu Ning. Zhao Qibing, enough is enough. Yu Yi didn't answer Qibing's question because there were some things he couldn't answer. Because the marriage and inheritance was about to be announced, in order to prevent anything from happening to Yushu, Yu Yi came here on the way, but he didn't expect to meet Qibing who wanted to kill Yushu. If it weren't for the fact that Yu Yi couldn't say some things, he would have killed Qibing. Was Yushu someone he could touch? Not to mention Yushu's identity and the marriage, even without that, he couldn't let Qibing bully her. What do you mean? Qibing didn't understand. Yu Yi, are you protecting Lin Yi? Yu Yi humphed and didn't answer. Is it because of Yu Ning? Your Hidden House Yu is on Lin Yi's side? Qibing vaguely felt that he had guessed something. He was extremely shocked and asked with uncertainty, could it be that Hidden House Yu is starting to build a good relationship with Lin Yi? That's not something you should worry about, Yu Yi said faintly. Mr. Yu Yi, let me give you a piece of advice. Lin Yi is already crippled, even a god can't save him. He is destined to be a cripple even if he doesn't die. Plus, he has many enemies, maybe someone will come for revenge tomorrow. I advise you to stay away from him, lest you get into trouble. Qibing advised. Chapter 2941. Yu. Qibing didn't think that Yu Yi would be so stubborn. No matter what he said, he would always be so cold. He had no choice but to say, forget it, I'll leave then. If you don't want to listen, then don't listen. Yu Yi snorted coldly and answered Qibing's question. Qibing had no choice but to turn around and get in the car. You drive, my head's broken. Serves you right, who told you to be a busybody? Qikuan said mockingly as he got in the driver's seat. He started the car and left quickly. Mr. Yu Yi, why are you helping me? Sning. Lin Yi was injured, but it wasn't to the point where he couldn't speak. With curiosity, Lin Yi asked. But Yu Yi didn't give Lin Yi any answer. He turned around and left, Yu Yi's sudden arrival helping and leaving suddenly confused Lin Yi. But among the people present, there was one person who understood why Yu Yi would help. It was Yushu. But Yushu couldn't reveal anything. She squatted down and held Lin Yi's hand. Shil bro, are you okay? Yeah, Lin Yi, how did you get hurt like this? I'll carry you back to your room to heal. Meng Yao said quickly. Okay. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Even if he went back to his room, he wouldn't be able to heal. He couldn't use his practitioner's arts, so how could he heal? Even with General Weiwu and Skybolt Pig, the two spirit beasts from the same sect, Lin Yi couldn't get pure energy from them with his practitioner's arts suppressed. It was a dead end. If Qibing hadn't suggested breaking Lin Yi's Dantian, Lin Yi could have used the Qi-gathering pill to level up and break through to Sky class, then use the Art of Dragon Mastery to heal his meridians. Even if he didn't have the pill, he could use General Weiwu or Skybolt Pig to recover, but Qibing had messed up Lin Yi's plans. One had to admit that Qibing was quite the schemer, putting Lin Yi in a very difficult position. Meng Yao and Yushu carried Lin Yi back to his room helpless. But Lin Yi smiled and comforted. "Shu, why are you wearing the mid-level golden cicada underwear?" Lin Yi remembered that after he came back from the Sky Elixir sex test, he put away the golden cicada underwear. He didn't expect Shu to take it out and wear it. Luckily, she wore it or she wouldn't have been able to take that punch. Although Yui stopped cheating later, one had to admit that this mid-level golden cicada underwear played a decisive role. As for Yui's appearance, Lin Yi didn't understand why, but he was grateful. If it wasn't for him, Qibing would have turned to Meng Yao after attacking Yushu. Yushu had the mid-level golden cicada underwear, but Meng Yao didn't. If Qibing really hit Meng Yao, the consequences would have been unimaginable. "I don't know. She thought it was fun, so I put it on. I didn't expect Shu to be this good." Yushu didn't know that Lin Yi couldn't recover, so her tone was relaxed. There wasn't a trace of sadness. "I see." Lin Yi suddenly remembered that Yushu told him to be careful before he went to the hidden house Zhao's banquet. He didn't think much of it at the time, but now it seemed that Yushu's prophecy ability was really— At that thought, Lin Yi regretted it. He shouldn't have trusted Qikuan so much. After all, Qikuan could make mistakes sometimes. But this time, Elder Zhao was willing to sacrifice 200 million to surrender. Lin Yi really didn't expect him to play tricks like this. "Shield bro, I'll be leaving with Yao Yao first. You can heal yourself first. You can tell us what happened today after you're healed," Yushu said. "Okay." Lin Yi nodded. Yushu pulled Meng Yao and was about to leave when Meng Yao suddenly stopped. "Wait. What's wrong, Yao Yao?" Yushu blinked. Meng Yao turned around and looked at Lin Yi. "Wait, Lin Yi, are you hiding something from us? Your injuries, are they serious?" The miss was very smart. She knew that other than the time when Lin Yi resigned, he always recovered quickly. Even if he couldn't fully recover, Lin Yi's broken arms and legs would recover. But Lin Yi had been home for a while now, and his injuries didn't seem to be recovering at all. Plus, Lin Yi didn't ask for General Weiwu or Skybolt Pig to come. This made Meng Yao suspicious. Perhaps Lin Yi's injuries were more serious than she thought. "That's right." Yushu reacted as well, frowning. "Shield bro, what's going on?" Seeing the miss in Shu's expressions, Lin Yi knew that he couldn't hide it anymore. They were starting to get suspicious. Lin Yi could only tell them the truth. "That's right. This time it's more serious than I thought. I'm crippled for the time being." Lin Yi didn't hide anything from these two girls who were closest to him. He knew that the Zhaos might be able to sell him out, but Meng Yao and Yushu wouldn't be able to. So he told them everything that had happened today. When Meng Yao and Yushu heard about Lin Yi's poisoning, they were shocked and uneasy. Even Lin Yi couldn't cure the poison. What could they do? Besides, Lin Yi's dantian was broken. No medicine would work on him. It was the same as walking on the road to death. "Don't worry, it's serious, but it might not be as bad as you think. Maybe there's a solution." Lin Yi smiled at the two sad expressions. "Do me a favor. Give Professor Guan a call and then give Boss Bai and Mr. Bai a call. Tell them to come to the villa and try to think of something. With Grandpa Guan's medical skills, the wounds on my body won't be a problem for him. It might be a little slow, but it'll be fine. As for the meridians and dantian, I'll need Mr. Bai's help. There's almost no hope of curing the poison. I can't get the food from Zhao Qibing and I can't analyze it." "Yeah, I didn't think that Zhao Qikuan would betray us too," Meng Yao complained. "If it weren't for him, you wouldn't have gone to the banquet." Chapter 2942. However, Lin Yi didn't tell Meng Yao and Yushu about Qikuan. Lin Yi didn't want them to drag Qikuan down after knowing the truth. "Alright, stop complaining. Yao Yao, call Grandpa Guan and Professor Bai. Shu, call Wu Qintian, Pai Jishan and Han Xiaopa. Tell them to come and protect the villa." As for the hidden house Zhuang, Lin Yi didn't contact them. Lin Yi's relationship with them was only built on threats and threats. Lin Yi couldn't guarantee that they wouldn't have other thoughts after hearing that he was crippled. House Zhao's incident had taught Lin Yi a lesson. He knew how to be on guard against people who weren't reliable. "Alright." Despite her complaints, Meng Yao dialed Xu Amin's number right away. She didn't say much on the phone, only telling him that Lin Yi was looking for him and that he needed to come to Donghai's villa as soon as possible. Xu Amin was a bit confused as to why Lin Yi was looking for him so suddenly, but he wanted to come to Donghai to see Guan Xian as well. He agreed immediately and prepared to leave. Boss Bai's side was much easier. He heard that Lin Yi was looking for him, so he rushed over from his school. His school was quite close, so it didn't take long for him to appear at Lin Yi's villa. Seeing that it was Meng Yao who opened the door, Boss Bai was a little surprised. He was already confused enough when Meng Yao called him, and now it was Meng Yao again. Boss Bai was even more confused now. Usually Lin Yi would call him personally. Meng Yao was the closest person to Lin Yi, but this was still a bit weird. Boss Bai couldn't help but ask, Meng Yao, wasn't Lin Yi looking for me? Where is he? Professor Bai, it's hard to say on the phone. Meng Yao's face was a bit pale. Something happened to Lin Yi, he's in the room. You'll know when you see him. What? Did something happen to Lin Yi? Boss Bai was shocked. Meng Yao didn't bother reminding Lin Yi as she walked into the villa, forgetting to change her shoes. Meng Yao didn't bother reminding Lin Yi though. She didn't have the time to care about that. Pushing the door open and walking into Lin Yi's room, Boss Bai saw Lin Yi lying on the bed with blood all over his limbs. He couldn't help but be shocked. Lin Yi, what happened to you? Why don't you heal yourself? Boss Bai was well aware of Lin Yi's capabilities. By logic, Lin Yi should have healed himself a long time ago, but why was he still in such a state? Lin Yi had been calling me for a while now. Lin Yi should have recovered from his injuries by now. Teacher Bai, it's a long story. Lin Yi smiled bitterly, but he didn't hide anything. He told Boss Bai about his experience today in detail, especially about the poison. Lin Yi explained it in great detail. So that's how it is. After hearing this, Boss Bai frowned and fell into deep thought. Teacher Bai, you are so knowledgeable. Is there really no antidote for this ancient poison? Lin Yi didn't want to give up. If he could find the antidote, then everything would be easy. After all, this poison had the effect of suppressing the mantra. Once he was poisoned, he wouldn't be able to use the mantra. Although Lin Yi's meridians and dantian were all damaged, as long as he could use the mantra, he could use Skybolt Pig or General Wei Wu to automatically guide the art of dragon mastery to repair his meridians and dantian. However, if he couldn't use the mantra, then everything was just empty talk. This ancient poison, I seem to have seen it somewhere before. But you also know that I spent most of my time studying alchemy. I didn't even bother to touch anything that wasn't related to alchemy. So, I can't think of any information about this poison in such a short time. Boss Bai shook his head helplessly and said apologetically, but I have a chance to ask junior brother Xianzhen. He may know. But old Zhao also said that this poison has no antidote. I'm afraid that even if you know the detailed information, it won't help. Lin Yi said, Boss Bai, under normal circumstances, if the dantian is damaged, how can it be repaired? Repairing the elixir field. Boss Bai narrowed his eyes and was lost in thought. After a while, he raised his head and said, It's said that in the ancient times, some experts of the primordial sects could not only repair the elixir field and meridians, but also reshape the body. However, these methods have all been lost. I've only heard some similar anecdotes from my master, but he didn't mention the details. I guess my master doesn't know it either, so that's how it is. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. If there is a way to repair it, my meridians wouldn't have been damaged for so long. Boss Bai shrugged and said, After I met you, you helped me heal it. This is the only way I've seen and heard of that can repair other people's injuries. If I wasn't poisoned, it wouldn't be a problem to repair my meridians and dantian. But now I can't. Lin Yi couldn't do anything. If Boss Bai couldn't do anything, then there really was no other way. Lin Yi's only hope now was Jiao Yazi and that damn thing. Forget it, Mr. Bai, you can rest here for a while. I've also called Grandpa Guan to come and have him take a look at my wounds. No matter what, my wounds should be healed first. Alright, then I'll go to the living room and contact Shenzhen first. You can rest first. Boss Bai didn't disturb Lin Yi and stood up, walking out of the room. Meng Yao and Yushu followed him out, leaving Lin Yi alone in the room. Jiao Lao, you know my situation now, right? What should I do? Lin Yi asked anxiously after entering the Jade space. Kid Lin, you're in a bad situation right now. The art of dragon mastery is completely suppressed, and I can't think of a solution right now. Jiao Yazi's face turned serious as well. He must be feeling a headache for Lin Yi's current situation. Where's that damn thing? Lin Yi looked at the corner of the Jade space. There's no reaction. It's probably in hibernation mode again. Jiao Yazi said, It might be able to help you when your life is in danger, but that's under the condition that it's awake. If it's not awake, it wouldn't even know you're dead. Chapter 2943. Other than the art of dragon mastery, do you remember any other methods to repair the meridians and dantian? Lin Yi asked. Not at the moment. Jiao Yazi shook his head. Lin Yi didn't ask any more. Jiao Yazi had already said everything he needed to say. He didn't know the rest, so Lin Yi could only give up for now. As for his external injuries, Lin Yi already had a treatment plan in his mind. Although the broken bones in his 4 limbs were quite serious, caused by that little bastard Zhao Qibing, Lin Yi was still confident that he could recover. Before he became a practitioner and didn't know the benefits of the art of dragon mastery, Lin Yi's medical skills were very good. To an assassin like Lin Yi, getting injured was a common occurrence, so his treatment methods were very good. So, as long as Lin Yi came up with a prescription and an acupuncture treatment method, it would be fine. He believed that with Guan Xuemin's medical skills, it wouldn't be a problem if he had a treatment plan. As expected, at night, Lin Yi told Guan Xuemin his suggestion, and Guan Xuemin agreed without hesitation. Originally, Guan Xuemin came to Lin Yi's place happily and wanted to call Guan Xian as well, but after knowing about Lin Yi's injuries, he naturally couldn't call Guan Xian. She would be worried if she saw him. Your injuries this time are very serious. If it wasn't for your treatment plan, even I wouldn't be 100% sure if it was me. Guan Xuemin said. Yeah, but it can only treat the external injuries on the surface. As for the other internal injuries, I can't do anything for now, Lin Yi sighed. The level of your opponent right now is beyond my capabilities, I can't help you, Guan Xuemin said. But you have to persevere. If you really can't do it, just hide. I don't want Xian to be sad. Lin Yi's heart moved. He knew what Guan Xuemin meant, but Lin Yi couldn't give Guan Xian too much of a response right now. Lin Yi had enough women around him, and it wasn't good for him to give Guan Xian any more promises. He could only let nature take its course. But Lin Yi still nodded. I understand, thank you for the reminder, Grandpa Guan. In actuality, when Lin Yi had no other choice, he had thought of hiding and bringing Mengyao, Yushu, Han Jingjing, and the others back to West Star Village. According to Old Man Guan, even if a Sky-class late-phase peak went there, it would be easy to kill them. As long as they didn't leave the village, they would be safe. But if Pai Jishan, Han Xiaopa, Wu Qintian, and the others all stood on Lin Yi's side, Lin Yi's enemies in the hidden plain would still be wary. As for his enemies in the ancient plain, even if Lin Yi wasn't injured, if a few elders from the everyday sect came to surround him, he would be dead for sure. It was the same for the people from the Five Elements sect. Lin Yi didn't have much of a chance to fight back, and so Lin Yi decided to observe the situation first. After all, the situation this time was different from the past, and those low-level clowns wouldn't act rashly. At night, Wu Qintian, Wu Gonggao, Han Xiaopa, Han Tianba, Pai Jishan, Pai Jihai, and Old Man Pai all came to Lin Yi's villa. Lin Yi didn't expect so many people to come. Lin Yi breathed a sigh of relief as well. This way, with Old Man Pai, a Sky class, and a group of Earth class masters, he wouldn't have to worry about the hidden plane. As for the ancient plane, Lin Yi really couldn't imagine who would want to go against him. Hidden House Zhao. After Qibing and Qikuan returned to the hidden house, they sat respectfully in the meeting room, waiting for old Zhao to announce the next step. Soon, old Zhao walked into the meeting room and looked at Qibing and Qikuan, asking faintly, "How is it? Sending Lin Yi back was smooth, right? Don't mention it. I wanted to kill that girl Yushu, but who would have thought that you from the hidden house you would stop me, not letting me touch the people around Lin Yi?" Qibing said hatefully. What? House Yu is interfering? Old Zhao frowned after hearing Qibing's words. What was going on? Could it be that House Yu didn't approve of killing Lin Yi? House Yu's Yu Ning manipulating old Yu's thoughts? I'm not sure about that. I'm a little regretful that I didn't kill Lin Yi on the way. If the hidden House Yu interfered, then Lin Yi's enemies wouldn't dare act rashly. Even the hidden House Yu wouldn't be able to go against the hidden House Yu. Qibing said regretfully. It's good that you killed him, I approve of it. After you kill him, Lin Yi's ancient follower will come after you, and I'll be the head of the house, Qikuan said with a smile. Chitan, don't say any more. Old Master Zhao suddenly waved his hand. Grandpa, you're... Qikuan paused. Qikuan, after thinking about it, the position of the young head has to go to Qibing. After all, I promised him first. As for you, you've betrayed the house before and now you're betraying the boss. That's not enough to convince everyone. So, if you stay in our hidden house, I can get you the position of Elder Mian. Old Zhao poured a bucket of cold water on Qikuan's head. Qikuan's face changed. He didn't care about the position of the head of the house, after all, he was a spy, but he didn't expect his grandpa to be this heartless. Even the competition he promised was fake. He was afraid that this wasn't some so-called careful consideration at all, but that Elder Zhao had planned this from the start. He wanted to get rid of the donkey after Lin Yi's incident was over, and he didn't even consider making him the head of the house. It was all a scam. As expected, this kind of crazy person didn't deserve to be Qikuan's family anymore. Now, Qikuan had finally made up his mind to cut ties with the hidden house. In the past, he'd always had some fantasies, but after this and thinking about how old Zhao treated Boss Zhu and Second Zhu, Qikuan felt that he was just a pawn by old Zhao's side that he could use. Chapter 2944. Grandpa, you've been lying to me all this time, haven't you? Chikuan's face changed. Old Zhao paused but didn't hide it. He nodded. That's right, if I didn't lie to you, why would you change sides so willingly? Lin Yi was betrayed by his follower, he must be in pain. Ah. So that's it, you used me? Chikuan's face darkened as he lowered his head. Zhao Chikuan, think about who you are. You've already betrayed House Zhao once, how could we put you in an important position? With a pig brain like yours, you still want to fight for the position of head of the house? How is that possible? Qibing finally understood the truth now and couldn't help but mock Chikuan. Now you give up, right? So, no matter how hard I try in your eyes, I'm not as good as Zhao Qibing. Chikuan sighed. Aren't you afraid that I'll switch to Lin Yi's side? Can you? Old Zhao looked at Chikuan with a smile that wasn't a smile. You think that if you go back and tell Lin Yi will accept you? Don't forget who broke his arm. Chikuan's face went ashen, but his eyes shone with unwillingness. Why? I brought back the third-level pill too. There's no why. As the head of the house, you have to disregard your own family. Zhao Qibing did this better than you, that's all. Old Zhao said faintly, if you really want to ask why, then it's because Zhao Qibing is Zhao Guangyin's son. Him ascending to the position is more in line with House Zhao's current stability. If you ascended to the position, let's not talk about whether or not Zhao Guangyin would agree to it. Even his own people wouldn't want to see this. I see. Chikuan nodded disappointed, in fact he was just acting. I understand, I don't need the position of Elder Mian, I'll be free from now on, it'll be nice to be a spoiled brat. That's right, it's good that you've thought things through. Qibing breathed out in relief at the sight of Chikuan's despair. His grandpa was on his side, but it'd be troublesome if Chikuan kept causing trouble. Just be like me before, being a spoiled rich kid, there's nothing bad about that. I understand. Chikuan stood up and left as if he didn't want to say anything more. Old Zhao and Qibing looked at each other and smiled. This was the best result. If Chikuan didn't fight for it, then let him be. House Zhao didn't need too many people anyway. We need to keep a close eye on Lin Yi and see what the hidden house you is planning. Old Zhao said. Alright, I'll be at the floating cloud bar for the next few days. It's very close to Lin Yi's house, I'll just gather information there, Qibing said. The next morning, Xuemin followed Lin Yi's orders and went to get the medicine and started treating Lin Yi. Qintian and the others, on the other hand, were acting as bodyguards around the villa. What made Lin Yi feel relieved was that after so long, the news should have spread out, but none of the hidden houses came looking for Lin Yi. Instead, it attracted the two brothers of the hidden house. Wu Qintian, boss is injured, why didn't you tell us? Do you think we're weak? Although we don't have any sky class, you can't look down on us like that, can you? Zhuang Niapeo looked at Qintian angrily. Qintian smiled bitterly. We don't have any sky class either, right? Boss didn't invite you guys, maybe it's because House Zhuang is further away? What about House Pai? Zhuang Niapeo wasn't satisfied. House Pai is further away than us. Alright, Zhuang Niapeo, House Pai only came because we have a sky class master. Since we're here, let's protect our boss together. There's no point in talking about this. Zhishan tried to smooth things over. That's true. Zhuang Niapeo gave Zhuang Niapeo a look, telling him not to worry too much about this. He had a rough idea of what was going on. Perhaps it was because House Zhuang was the last to join Lin Yi, so Lin Yi didn't really trust them, so he didn't invite them. But the more it was like this, the more Zhuang Niapeo and Zhuang Niapeo wanted to move forward. Since they had started working with Zhou Qiandi, the two brothers, Zhou Qiandi and Zhou Ruoguang, would often see each other, and they would always talk about how strong Lin Yi was. Among all the powers in Songshan, only House Zhou stayed loyal to Lin Yi, that's why they were able to survive. Those who were half-hearted and arrogant, like the Golden Bell sect, were all killed. And so, House Zhuang's thoughts were subtly influenced, and they felt that following Lin Yi was the best choice. When they heard that Lin Yi was injured, they didn't think about House Zhuang's future, they came to protect Lin Yi first. From their point of view, Lin Yi's injuries were definitely healed, so they didn't think too much about it. However, the arrival of the two Zhou brothers made Lin Yi heave a sigh of relief. It seemed like his lackeys were quite reliable. Just when Lin Yi was happy about his lackeys, in the villa came the first unhappy thing that happened after Lin Yi was injured. In front of Lin Yi's villa, a deafening roar came. Is this where that brat Lin Yi lives? The voice was filled with disdain and contempt. Qintian and the others were shocked, and quickly walked out of the villa, only to see a middle-aged man in black standing in front of the villa with an arrogant face. His eyes were looking up at the sky as if he was the only one in the world. Who are you? What are you doing here? Qintian looked at the strength of the person in front of him. It was an Earth-class late-phase peak, but Qintian was with Lin Yi, and he had seen Sky-class masters before, so why would he be afraid of an Earth-class late-phase peak? You are that brat Lin Yi? The black-clothed man looked at Qintian and snorted. Why are you looking for our boss? Zhuang Niapeo didn't like the black-clothed man's attitude. Although he was an Earth-class late-phase peak, he had a group of Earth-class practitioners on his side. Plus, there was also the old man Pai, a Sky-class master. Your boss? So, you are that brat Lin Yi's lackeys? The black-clothed man looked at Zhuang Niapeo and the others in shock. He didn't expect Lin Yi to have so many lackeys. Chapter 29:45. As he spoke, he mobilized the spiritual energy of heaven and earth around him, revealing his heavenly rank external practitioner strength. Sky class? So what? The man in black wasn't scared at all, but looked even more disdainful. You're just a bunch of practitioners from a hidden house? You think you're so strong? What are you trying to do? Let's cut the crap. Old Pai's face didn't look too well. He was a Sky class, and being looked down upon by an Earth class naturally didn't make him happy. If it was someone like Lin Yi, then it'd be fine, but this was someone he'd never seen before. I'm not afraid to tell you that I'm from an ancient sect, the Dark Palace. The man in black said proudly, I'm an elder and emissary of the Dark Palace. Why aren't you kneeling? Ancient sect? Old Pai frowned. He'd heard of the Dark Palace before, and while it was one of the weakest ancient sects, it was still an ancient sect, and they still had some foundation. Naturally, Old Pai couldn't go against them. As far as I know, ancient sects never interfere with the common world and hidden sections. Are you breaking the ancient rules by coming here? Since Lin Yi joined the Sky Elixir Sect's test, he's not from the common world anymore. Plus, we're here for our Dark Palace's business. We're not here to interfere with the common world or the hidden plane. The man in black wasn't happy with what Old Pai said, but he couldn't just say that the Dark Palace ignored the ancient rules. What do you want? Old Pai said faintly. Can you represent Lin Yi? Get that kid out here right now. The man in black from the Dark Palace said coldly. You're looking for me? Lin Yi was pushed out of the villa by Meng Yao and Yushu. When Lin Yi heard that the man was from the Dark Palace, he got a headache. He didn't think that the Dark Palace would be so vengeful, coming to the common world to cause trouble for him. He was now a cripple. How was he going to deal with this? Although the opponent was only an Earth-class late-phase peak and Old Pai could take care of him, but if Old Pai killed him and another Sky-class came or 2 or 3 Sky-class masters, how would he deal with it? But Lin Yi thought too much. Even if the Dark Palace was shameless, they wouldn't dare to go against the ancient rules. The Dark Palace just took advantage of a loophole. If it involved the interests of the ancient sects and could be resolved peacefully, they would allow people of the ancient level to come to the mortal world to deal with private matters. But this elder's pretentiousness was completely his own. To him, he was just trying to scare Lin Yi. The other ancient sects wouldn't be able to see it anyway, and they wouldn't be able to say anything. His real goal was to force Lin Yi to hand over the level 3 Great Recovery Pill. So you're Lin Yi's junior? The black-clothed man looked at Lin Yi and was stunned. How did you become a cripple? Did you do too many bad things and now you're being punished? If you have something to say, then say it. Lin Yi frowned. What was this black-clothed man doing here? Lin Yi wasn't sure. Logically speaking, he didn't kill the 2 disciples from the Dark Palace, so he basically had no grudges with them. Even if they wanted revenge, it should be the Everyday and Tomorrow sect that came after him. Why would it be the Dark Palace? During the trial, you stole 2 of my disciples' herbs. I heard that you gave them to you and your little brother. The black-clothed man said. Our Grand Elder orders you to return these 2 herbs immediately. Otherwise, it will be a provocation to the Dark Palace, a declaration of war. Lin Yi was confused by the black-clothed man's words. The herbs were all given to the Sky Elixir sect. If you want them, then go ask them. What are you doing here? You and your little brother stole our herbs in exchange for 2 level 3 Great Revitalizing Pills? Don't think I don't know. The black-clothed man said, Since you don't have the spirit medicine for the trial, then give me the 3rd grade Great Cyclic Pill that you exchanged for with the spirit medicine. Lin Yi finally understood why he was here. It was for the 3rd level Great Huan Pill. After beating around the bush and saying so much, he just wanted to snatch the grade 3 Great Cyclic Pill away. If Lin Yi wasn't injured, he would have slapped the guy away a long time ago. But now, even if he was facing an Earth-class late-phase peak weaker than him, Lin Yi couldn't let his guard down. He had to be careful. What are you laughing at? Hurry up and hand over the loot, and I'll exempt you from your punishment. Otherwise, you're openly going against the Dark Palace. The black-clothed man laughed coldly. Openly going against the Dark Palace? Linny thought it was funny. I think you guys are going against the Sky Elixir sect, aren't you? We made it clear during the trial that no matter what happens in the trial, it can't be brought out of the trial grounds. I think you guys are going against the Sky Elixir sect. What do you know, you brat? The black-clothed man frowned. Although Linny was right, he was going against the rules of the Sky Elixir sect, but would the Sky Elixir sect pick a fight with the Dark Palace over a lone practitioner? Of course not. They were all from ancient sections. Although they didn't have a good relationship, they wouldn't fall out over such a small thing. Which ancient sect didn't have some dirty tricks up their sleeves? If everyone slapped each other in the face, then there wouldn't be any meaning to it. So as long as it was okay on the surface, it was fine. This was also why the Dark Palace dared to break the rules and come here. Even if the Sky Elixir sect knew, would they really stand up for Lin Yi or the Dark Palace? It was obvious which one was more useful to the Sky Elixir sect. We're just taking back what we deserve. This is an internal matter of our sect. What does it have to do with the Sky Elixir sect? The black-clothed man said confidently. What if I don't give it to you? Linny asked back. Don't give it to you? Then just wait for the revenge of the Dark Palace. Although you have a Sky-class master by your side, I don't believe that your Sky-class master would dare to attack me. The black-clothed man said confidently. Chapter 2946. What's more, Linny didn't know how strong the Dark Knight Palace was. If it was a big sect, then Linny would have a headache. Based on the Man in Black style, all sects were like this. If Linny provoked them, there would be endless trouble. My little brother is from the ancient Feng family and the Holy Fist Palace, and there's another called Wuxia. He comes and goes without a trace. If you can find him, then go and ask for it. Linny thought about it and said to the Man in Black, Junior Linny, don't talk nonsense. Don't think that I don't know that you have a third-grade recover pill in your hands, and your little brother from the hidden Zhao family also has a third-grade recover pill. I want these 2 pills. Don't talk about the ancient Feng family and the Holy Fist Palace. The black-clothed man wasn't an idiot. He'd already heard about the situation from the first and second disciples of the Dark Palace. The Dark Knight Palace dared to ask Lin Yi and Zhao Qikuan for the pill, but they didn't dare to ask the Holy Fist Palace and the ancient Feng family. Wasn't that looking for death? As for Wuxia, he was also from the ancient level, and he was a rogue cultivator who sold information. This kind of rogue cultivator, the Dark Knight Palace didn't dare to provoke him. If he slanted his mouth, everyone in the ancient level would know what the Dark Knight Palace did. That would be embarrassing. Zhao Qikuan is no longer my little brother. My injury was caused by the hidden Zhao family. If you want to find him, go to the hidden Zhao family. I can't do anything about it. Linny said lightly. What? The Man in Black was stunned. Really? You're not fooling me, are you? Why would I be fooling you? Linny shook his head and said, As for my third-level recover pill, I've already eaten it, but it doesn't seem to have any effect because my elixir field is broken. You've eaten it? Your elixir field is broken? The black-clothed man was a little dizzy. He didn't expect that his request for the recover pill would be so unsuccessful. He thought that by scaring Linny he would be able to give it to him. It's not a secret. You can find out the truth about me being injured by the hidden Zhao family. I was injured, but I didn't eat the recover pill. Why did I keep it? Linny asked. Your dantian is broken. Why are you still eating the recover pill? Isn't that a waste? The Man in Black said hatefully, What a waste. Think what you want. If you want a Grand Restore pill, I already told you to ask Feng Shipian, Li Siba and Wuxia. I don't have any left, said Linny. Just you wait, I'll report this to the Grand Elder and see how she punishes you. When the Man in Black heard Linny say so, he didn't say much. He waved his hand and turned to leave. He left just like that? Qintian paused, thinking that the black-clothed man was really gullible. He left just like that after Linny said so? I'm afraid I'll have to come back. Linny sighed, I've dealt with it for now, but it seems like the Dark Palace won't let this go easily. After the black-clothed elder of the Dark Palace left, he returned to the hotel he was temporarily staying at and called the Grand Elder. It's Elder Black. How did it go? Linny, that brat returned the pill to us, right? From the Grand Elder's perspective, this was an extremely easy thing to do. Linny heard about the ancient sects, so why wouldn't he return the pill? After all, this was different from the trials. One's background was the deciding factor, not one's personal strength. No, Grand Elder, there's something wrong. The black-clothed elder said. What? That Linny kid doesn't want to give it to you? The Grand Elder's tone changed, getting a little angry. It's not that he doesn't want to, it's like this. The black-clothed elder quickly told the Grand Elder about Lin Yi's fight with the hidden house Zhao and how he got injured. After the Great Elder heard this, he was very surprised. Is this true? He's telling the truth? This should be true, after all we just need to ask around. The black-clothed elder said helplessly, now that Lin Yi doesn't have the pill, what should I do? I can't just kill him, can I? We won't go so far as to kill him, he's just an ant, but we're an ancient sect, killing people without cause or effect will give us a reason to do so. You can scare him a little, use that Chu Mengyao girl as a hostage and get him to get the pill back from Gu Xian. Otherwise, beat that Chu Mengyao until she's crippled, see if he'll give it back. If he doesn't, then I'll beat up her father Pengzhan until he's crippled. I don't believe that Lin Yi won't give it back. As for Zhao Qikuan, he's just a hidden house, you go there yourself, they won't dare refuse. The Grand Elder said after some thought. Yes. Then I'll go find Lin Yi tomorrow. The black-clothed elder's mouth twitched. He vaguely knew who Mengyao was, it wasn't a secret in the Palace of Darkness and anyone with a bit of status would know about it. But since the Grand Elder insisted, the black-clothed elder had no choice but to agree. He wasn't elderly, he didn't have any feelings for Mengyao and Pengzhan was even more so. After hanging up, the black-clothed elder decided to go to the hidden house Zhao and get the pill back, as well as find out more about what Lin Yi said. The hidden house Zhao was also in Donghai, and while it wasn't that close to Lin Yi's villa, it didn't take long for the black-clothed elder, an Earth-class late-phase peak, to get there wasn't much time. After a while, he arrived at the entrance of the hidden house Zhao's villa. Who's there? This is private property, if there's nothing else, please go back. The guard disciple's words were tactful. After all, there were regular people who came in here by mistake and they couldn't just treat them like that. This is the hidden house Zhao? The black-clothed elder looked at the disciple and asked, Oh, you know about the hidden house Zhao? Who are you? What business do you have here? The disciple's face froze as he asked. Get your manager out, tell him that there's an important guest. The black-clothed elder said arrogantly. Important guest? The disciple's face changed. Are you here to cause trouble? Just say who you want to see, don't go looking for trouble, this isn't a place for you to do as you please. What? You're not going to report it? The black-clothed elder said as he revealed his Earth-class late-phase peak strength. Earth-class late-phase peak? The disciple was shocked. While there was a Sky-class early phase in the house, an Earth-class late-phase peak was still a rare sight. He didn't dare delay, then please wait. Chapter 2947. The guard told Elder Mian that there was an Earth-class late-phase peak at their doorstep, and Elder Mian informed old Zhao immediately. Not long after, old Zhao came out with Zhao Qibing. They didn't dare to be careless, wondering if they were here to get revenge for Lin Yi. But that couldn't be. Lin Yi knew that he was a Sky-class, so why would he bring an Earth-class late-phase peak? Was he trying to get himself killed? They quickly came to the door and old Zhao saw the black-clothed man. He didn't know him at all and couldn't help but ask, May I ask what brings you here? You're the steward of the hidden house Zhao? The black-clothed elder looked at old Zhao and asked. Yes, I am the head of the hidden house Zhao, and you are? Old Zhao frowned. It didn't seem like he was here to get revenge for Lin Yi, so what was he here for? Long story short, Lin Yi has a follower called Zhao Qikuan, right? The black-clothed elder asked. He's a disciple of the hidden house Zhao, right? Yes. Old Zhao hesitated but nodded. After all, there was no way to hide this. Whether or not Zhao Qikuan was from the hidden house was something that could be easily found out. But now he was troubled. Was it because of Lin Yi? Lin Yi and his followers stole our disciple's medicine during the Sky Elixir test, and our Grand Elder is furious. He sent me here to tell you to hand over the medicine for the 3rd level Great Recovery Pill, and we'll let bygones be bygones. Otherwise, The black-clothed elder threatened. What? Lin Yi and Zhao Qikuan's medicine was stolen from your palace? Old Zhao froze. He knew about the Dark Knight Palace, an ancient sect. Although he didn't participate in the Heavenly Elixir Sect's trial, he knew that there was no status or background in the trial. What happened inside was up to fate. Who would settle scores after the trial? What was going on with the Palace of Darkness? That's right. Hurry up and hand over the 3rd grade Great Recover Pill. I guarantee that you'll be fine. The black-clothed elder impatiently urged. Old Zhao and Qibing looked at each other. They didn't know why these people from the Dark Palace would break the rules and ask for the pill, but Qikuan had already given the pill to old Zhao, so naturally he wouldn't hand it over. Qikuan had given up the pill in exchange for the position of young master, and now that he no longer had that position, Old Zhao pretended like he didn't know and kept the pill for himself. Linny doesn't only have Zhao Qikuan, and Linny has a third-level recovery pill too. You can ask Linny for it. Qibing encouraged. Linny was injured by you guys and he ate a great recover pill. It's a waste. If I could ask him for it, I wouldn't need your bullshit. Don't say that. If you don't want to suffer, then quickly hand over the recover pill. Otherwise, I'll get impatient and break your dog legs. When the elder in black saw that the hidden Zhao family's people were so uncooperative, he immediately became angry. Break my legs? Then I won't hand it over. Fight me if you dare. Qibing's eyes lit up as he spoke with determination. You think I won't fight you? The black-clothed elder was furious as well. He kicked at Qikuan's legs, 1,000 legs, third form. Bang crack. Qibing's legs were broken, but he stared at the elder in front of him with his mouth agape. It wasn't because of anything else, but because the elder's technique was also called 1,000 kicks. Qibing knelt on the ground, but he had forgotten the pain. His eyes were shining with anticipation. Master, please accept this bow from your disciple. The black-clothed elder froze. Was there something wrong with this Qibing? His legs were broken and he was kneeling on the ground. Why was he suddenly asking to be his master? I broke your leg, not your head. Is there something wrong with you? Who's your master? Master, I won't hide it from you. I've been practicing 1,000 legs and that's why I asked you to break my legs. I've been trying to figure it out on my own, and now that I've seen you, I naturally kneel before you. Qibing wasn't an idiot. He knew that this was an opportunity. Kong Ming of House Kong had become the 8th elder of Sky Elixir. What kind of opportunity was this? Pinliang was able to become a disciple of the day and everyday sect, and he, Qibing, had a higher starting point than them, but he had always been a nobody. Now that he had this opportunity, how could he let it go? Although Qibing didn't know how big the Dark Palace was, it was still an ancient sect. With an ancient sect as their backing, would House Zhao still be the same House Zhao from before? Elder Hei didn't listen to Qibing's nonsensical flattery. He was surprised to hear that Qibing had broken his leg in order to practice 1,000 kicks. He couldn't help but ask, did you break your leg before you became a practitioner or after you became one? I broke them before and I broke them after. Qibing wanted to answer according to the black-clothed elder, but he wasn't sure what answer the elder wanted. He could only answer truthfully. So, before you became a cultivator you also broke your legs? Did you break both your legs? The black-clothed elder quickly asked. Yes, both legs were broken. Qibing didn't know what was going on, but he still nodded. Don't move, let me check. The black-clothed elder immediately bent down and checked Qibing's legs, and a look of surprise appeared on his face. He kept saying, not bad, Master, you've decided to take me in as your disciple? Qibing was surprised and happy when the black-clothed elder praised him, and he quickly asked. That. The black-clothed elder hesitated. I'll have to ask the Grand Elder first, I can't give you an answer right now. Although the black-clothed elder thought that Qibing was a good seedling and really wanted to take him in as his direct disciple, the Grand Elder was very domineering in the Dark Palace, and his words carried enormous weight. If he wanted to take in a disciple, he had to get the Grand Elder's approval first. Chapter 2948. Before becoming a cultivator, it was possible to completely recover a broken leg, but after recovering, it was rare to be able to cultivate, and it had to be a cultivator with the metal attribute, and it was even rarer to be able to cultivate to the earth rank. Especially for an ancient sect like the Dark Palace that lacked resources and disciples, it was a difficult thing for the black-clothed elder to find a successor. Suddenly seeing Zhao Qibing, naturally he was tempted. Of course, whether or not he could accept a disciple still depended on the Supreme Elder's opinion. Master, I'll take the 3rd-level Great Huan pill as a gift for you, Master. Qibing quickly said. Okay, I'll ask for you. The black-clothed elder's tone and expression were much friendlier. He waved his hand at Zhao Qibing, signaling him to calm down and walk to the side to make a call. Elder Zhao, on the other hand, gave Zhao Qibing a thumbs up in admiration. Now that House Zhao had a disciple from an ancient sect like Zhao Qibing, it was impossible for them not to prosper. To be able to get a level 3 recover pill without any effort, and also get a proud disciple, it was a good deal no matter how you looked at it. But the great elder of the Palace of Darkness was arbitrary, so the black-clothed elder had to ask for permission. However, this time, the Supreme Elder did not interfere too much and directly nodded in agreement, allowing the black-clothed elder to heave a sigh of relief. Of course I can take you as a disciple. Come with me to the Dark Palace in a few days. Tomorrow morning, I need to go to Lin Yi's house again. Do you want to come? The black-clothed elder asked. Yes, of course I'll go. I'll go wherever Master goes. Qibing quickly said. And all right. If that's the case, I'll stay at your hidden house for the night. Tomorrow morning you and I will go find Lin Yi and ask for the elixir. The black-clothed elder nodded, satisfied with Qibing's answer. Late at night, Heavenly Elixir Sect. Inside the silkworm transformation room, Little Peach had already fallen asleep. As for Tian Chan, she was sitting in her seat, cultivating as usual. Suddenly the window moved. It was a very small sound. If one didn't listen carefully, they wouldn't have noticed it. Come in. Tian Chan opened her eyes and said lightly. In the next moment, a black-robed figure floated into Tian Chan's room. It was a masked woman dressed in night clothes. However, her body did not emit any aura at all. It was as if she was a dead person. If she hadn't purposely made some noise, Tian Chan probably wouldn't have noticed her arrival. She had hidden her strength to an extent that was difficult for others to detect. Tian Dai greets young lady. The black-clothed woman respectfully knelt at the feet of Tian Chan, but her voice was cold and unfeeling. Little Dai, why did you come back so suddenly? Is there something important? Tian Chan was a little puzzled. Why did Tian Dai come back at this time? Although Tian Dai's strength was the same as hers, at the peak of the late phase of heaven class, when she suppressed her strength, even the Xianxian ancestor wouldn't be able to detect her. However, in order to keep it a secret, Tian Chan rarely summoned Tian Dai. Tian Dai was an orphan that Tian Chan saved when she was young. Before Tian Chan became the young master of Heavenly Elixir Sect at the age of 8, she had always been Tian Chan's maid. However, she cultivated together with Tian Chan and improved together. The two of them shared the same resources and their cultivation speed was about the same. However, the secret that Tian Dai was also a cultivator was not known in the Heavenly Elixir School. Not even Tian Jixing, Tian Di and Ren Ren knew about it. This was one of Tian Chan's secret trump cards. After taking over the position of Heavenly Elixir School's young master at the age of 8, Tian Dai died due to an accident. The person who replaced her was Little Peach, a normal girl. Tian Dai was actually not dead. Instead, she had been secretly hidden away by Tian Chan. Tian Dai had always viewed Tian Chan as her idol. Tian Chan's unswerving determination and callousness since she was young, and her swift and decisive actions after becoming the young sect master had subtly influenced Tian Dai. Towards Tian Chan's almost paranoid worship, Tian Dai also tried to imitate Tian Chan's character as much as possible. However, she only learned Tian Chan's cold and indifferent appearance. Tian Chan became the young master of Heavenly Elixir Sect with the identity of a woman. Every day she didn't do it for herself. Only Tian Chan knew the hardships involved. However, Tian Dai didn't understand these things. Since young she liked to imitate Tian Chan. She was like what Tian Chan was like. She liked to be Tian Chan's shadow. All these years she had been secretly cultivating a new force that was different from Heavenly Elixir Sect. Not only was she a trump card of Tian Chan, but she was also Tian Chan's eyes and ears outside. Although Tian Dai found it strange that Tian Chan suddenly wanted her to pay attention to a man called Lin Yi, she still carried out Tian Chan's orders without reservation. Even if she had doubts, she would still complete it seriously. Miss Lin Yi attended the hidden house Zhao's banquet and was set up by them. After being poisoned, he became a cripple. His meridians and dantian were destroyed. Tian Dai narrated the events of the past few days expressionlessly. What? Hidden house Zhao set up Lin Yi? Tian Chan's eyes widened in disbelief. Wasn't Zhao Qikuan Lin Yi's follower? In Heavenly Elixir Sect's Inn, Tian Chan had seen him before. He didn't look like the type of person who would betray others. Why did he set up Lin Yi? However, she didn't have time to ask the reason. Tian Chan asked subconsciously, then why didn't you save him? Save him? Tian Dai paused. Miss, didn't you tell me to help when Lin Yi's life was in danger? Although he's injured now, his life isn't in danger. You. Tian Chan was speechless. Tian Dai was too obedient. She did whatever she was told. Couldn't she be flexible? However, Tian Chan couldn't say much. She could only say, what happened next? Then, when Lin Yi returned home, people from the Dark Palace came looking for trouble. With that, Tian Dai told Tian Chan about what happened. Tian Chan fell into deep thought after hearing it. She frowned. The Dark Palace is too daring. How dare they question the results of our Heavenly Elixir Sect's test? Yes, that's why I came back in a hurry. Tian Dai said. Chapter 2949. Yes, young lady. Tian Dai carried out Tian Chan's orders unconditionally. Although she had some doubts in her heart as to why Tian Chan didn't personally handle it, It was reasonable to say that this was a matter within the heavenly elixir sect's responsibility, and there was no need to hide it. Moreover, Tianshan hid for a day and let Tiandai handle it. It wasn't to hide it, but to let the people of the heavenly elixir sect know that Tianshan went out to handle this matter. Then why did Tianshan do this? Tiandai couldn't figure it out. After you come back, tell me the details of Lin Yi's situation. Tianshan waved her hand indicating that Tiandai could leave. As for Lin Yi's injury, Tianshan wasn't too worried. After all, Lin Yi's recovery speed was witnessed by Tianshan with her own eyes. Tiandai retreated and Tianshan's face blushed. She sighed slightly and murmured, "It would be great if life could only be like the first time we met. Now it's better to reminisce than to meet." The elder in black left, but Lin Yi couldn't calm down. He hesitated for a moment and took out his phone. He wanted to call Tianshan, but when the call went through, Lin Yi quickly hung up. The fate between him and Tianshan might end with the end of the heavenly elixir sect's trial. After all, the two of them were on opposite sides. Lin Yi couldn't contact her too frequently. Patriarch Xianxin was obviously not a good person. If he knew that he was in contact with Tianshan, he was afraid that it would implicate Tianshan. And so, in the end, Lin Yi still called Gu Xian's number. "Boss Lin Yi." Gu Xian received Lin Yi's call and seemed very excited. "Boss Lin Yi, you and Chitan went back smoothly, right? I miss you guys. When I'm not busy for a while, I'll go visit you guys." "Gu Xian, let's not talk about this. Let me ask you, how strong is the Dark Palace?" Lin Yi interrupted Gu Xian and asked directly. "The Palace of Darkness. Boss, why are you suddenly asking about that?" Gu Xian paused but still answered honestly, "The Dark Palace is an ancient sect, the same as Feng Shipian's ancient Feng family. They are both weak ancient powers, but even so, they still have a lot of resources and they have Sky-class peak late-phase masters." "Is that so?" Lin Yi nodded. Let alone being injured, even if he wasn't, he still wouldn't be able to contend against a peak heaven rank powerhouse. It looked like the ancient realm was a lot more powerful than the hidden realm. Then, can the ancient realm do whatever they want in the secular world? This definitely won't do. Gu Xian denied right away. But if it's a personal matter and it doesn't involve killing, then they can leave the mountain to deal with it. There's no hard and fast rule. "What, boss, did something happen between you and the Dark Palace?" "Something unpleasant happened." Lin Yi didn't mention his injury, and only told Gu Xian about the Dark Palace coming to ask for the recover pill. This Palace of Darkness is too shameless. How could they do something like this? Gu Xian was shocked. This is a bit of a taboo. The Sky Elixir sect's trial results are decided by them. If they find out that the Dark Palace changed the results like this, they won't just sit by and watch. The point is, will the Sky Elixir sect notice such a small thing? Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Plus, we're both ancient sects, so they should at least have some face, right? They wouldn't fall out because of a solo practitioner like me, right? That's true, but the relationship between the Dark Palace and the Sky Elixir sect isn't that good. Gu Xian said, "But if they threaten to hurt you, then there's really nothing we can do about it. If it really doesn't work, I'll give my recover pill to you, boss. We got the benefits from this. If it wasn't for us, the Palace of Darkness wouldn't have come looking for trouble with you." "No need, I have one. If it really doesn't work, I'll just give it to them and say it's yours. I'll think of something in the future," Lin Yi said. "Okay." Gu Xian didn't think much about it. He didn't know that Lin Yi was injured, and thought that Lin Yi compromised because he didn't want to mess with the ancient sections. After all, this was different from the trial. During the trial, one didn't have to worry about their background. But when they returned to the real world, they couldn't. Although the Dark Palace was weak, they still had people at the peak of the late phase of Sky class. After hanging up, Lin Yi went to bed early. He didn't have to train at night, so he was extra free. As for old Lin Yi didn't call him. Lin Yi didn't know what the poison was and what it was made of. Calling old Lin would only cause him more trouble. The next morning, Lin Yi wanted to have a rare good sleep, but he didn't expect that just as the sky brightened, the black-clothed elder's voice came from outside the villa. "Lin Yi, kid, come out now." The black-clothed elder roared. Lin Yi frowned. He really was a ghost. After leaving yesterday, he came back early in the morning. It seemed like his excuse didn't matter at all. Qintian and the others were woken up as well. Lin Yi was pushed out of the villa by Qintian, but the person outside made Lin Yi freeze. What he didn't expect was that beside the black-clothed elder, there was someone that Lin Yi was very familiar with. It was Zhao Qibing. "Zhao Qibing? What are you doing here?" Qintian saw Zhao Qibing and shouted. "Hehe, you guys didn't expect this, did you? The black-clothed elder of the Dark Palace has taken me in as a disciple. I'm a disciple of the Dark Palace now. Lin Yi, do you really want to kill me? Do you want to wait until you recover and destroy our hidden house, Zhao? Zhao Qibing looked at Lin Yi proudly. Haha, not now, right? I'm a disciple of an ancient sect, under the protection of the Dark Palace. Let's see if you still dare to touch me? Lin Yi laughed coldly but didn't say anything. The Dark Palace now seemed stronger than Lin Yi, but one day when Lin Yi recovered and could instantly kill a Sky-class late-phase peak master, the Dark Palace wouldn't be worth mentioning in Lin Yi's eyes anymore. So, there was no use in saying anything now. Let Zhao Qibing be happy for now. One day he'll settle the score slowly. Oh, so you're here to tell me this? Lin Yi asked, his tone neutral. Chapter 2950. With that, he didn't wait for Lin Yi to reply and continued, or else, I'm not afraid to tell you that my master came from an ancient sect. It's not convenient for him to kill people, but it's convenient for me. I've always hated Mengyao and Yushu. Let's see if the hidden house you dares to stick their noses into the ancient sect's business. Qibing smiled coldly. Besides, don't think that I'll still attack you just because you have a Sky class with you. If you do, you'll be provoking the entire Palace of Darkness. At that time, the Palace of Darkness will have a reason to kill all of you. Even the other ancient sects won't stop the Palace of Darkness from taking revenge. Qibing's words were vicious. If Lin Yi didn't agree, he'd attack Mengyao and Yushu. He even threatened Lin Yi's people not to fight back. If they did, they'd be provoking the ancient sect, and the Palace of Darkness would come to destroy them. If Lin Yi wasn't injured, he wouldn't have to suffer like this even if he wasn't as strong as the Palace of Darkness. But now he had to lower his head. Lin Yi couldn't do anything to this shameless method. At this time, Mengyao and Yushu walked out of the villa. Their faces changed slightly when they heard Qibing's words. It wasn't obvious, but Lin Yi's sharp senses picked up on it. Yushu was the type of person who wanted to see the world in chaos, but today she was unusually quiet. She didn't refute Qibing's words, but stood behind Lin Yi quietly, waiting for Lin Yi's decision. Yui was afraid that Qibing and the others would return, so he walked around Lin Yi's house and saw this headache-inducing scene. Before, when the Palace of Darkness came to ask for pills from Lin Yi, Yui didn't think much of it. But today he realized that Elder Black-Clothed and Qibing were in cahoots. Under these circumstances, Yui didn't dare to step up, especially when Qibing said that House Yu wouldn't meddle in other people's business. This made him hesitate even more. House Yu had a background, but they were still a hidden sect. It wasn't realistic to go against the ancient sect. Ha, Lin Yi, what do you think? Speechless now, right? If you know what's good for you, hand over the pill or I'll do it. Qibing waved his hand and threatened Lin Yi. I'll destroy Mingyao's face first, then I'll break Yushu's legs. I hate this big Yushu the most, so after I break her legs, I'll smash her boobs and let them dangle in front of me. It's annoying. Lin Yi frowned. There was nothing Lin Yi could do about Qibing's vulgar words. Just when Lin Yi was about to nod and agree, a cold voice sounded behind Qibing and the black-clothed man. An ancient sect actually came to the common world to cause trouble. Who gave you the courage to do this? Elder Black-Clothed was shocked, and so was Lin Yi, because they didn't realize that there was another person nearby. Even Yui, who was hiding not far away, changed his expression. He didn't know when this person appeared. Even he, a Sky-class master, didn't notice him. But in the next moment, Yui understood because the owner of the voice didn't hide his strength. He was a Sky-class master at the peak of the late phase. Who are you? Elder Black-Clothed's expression changed as well. Yui could sense the person's strength, and Elder Black-Clothed was no exception. A Sky-class master at the peak of the late phase in the ancient sects would be like the sect master, Grand Elder, or Grand Elder. Why would he appear here all of a sudden? I'm just a passerby. This was a gentleman in white with an elegant demeanor. He was holding a paper fan in his hand. Although he looked very carefree, his voice carried an unapproachable tone. I'm Elder Black-Clothed of the Dark Palace, under the orders of the Grand Elder, to recover the stolen goods that Lin Yi stole. I don't care who you are, but please don't interfere with the rights of the Dark Palace. Elder Black-Clothed spoke fiercely. After all, this person was a top master in the cultivation world. Stolen goods? How come I didn't know it was stolen goods? The young master in white looked at Elder Black-Clothed and asked coldly. What do you know? This is an internal matter of the Dark Palace. Although you're a Sky-class master at the peak of the late phase, we don't have to report it to you, right? Elder Black-Clothed braced himself and said, I don't care about other things, but this involves the interests of my sect. I, the Sky Silkworm transformation, have to take care of it. The young master in white closed his paper fan and looked at Elder Black-Clothed coldly. Your sect? What are you? What? You said you're the Sky Silkworm transformation? Elder Black-Clothed suddenly realized and looked at the young master in white in shock. You said you're the young master of the Sky Elixir sect? That's right, the reward of the Sky Elixir sect's trial is issued by the Sky Elixir sect. How can the Dark Palace tell us what to do? The young master in white was of course Tian Dai. She rushed back overnight and didn't expect to see this. She immediately stepped out to stop it. Elder Black-Clothed looked at the young master in white, his eyes filled with hesitation and unwillingness. He didn't believe that the Sky Silkworm transformation would personally take care of this. This wasn't a big deal at all. He thought that maybe this was one of Lin Yi's lackeys pretending to be him? But his strength wasn't fake either. However, Elder Black-Clothed still asked, as far as I know, young Master Tian is very busy every day. How would he have the time to take care of such a small matter? How can you prove your identity? Isn't this enough? Tian Dai casually tossed a token towards the black-clothed elder. The black-clothed elder took it in his hand and looked at it. His eyes froze. This was indeed the token of the head, young head and elders of the ancient sects. The tokens were made by all the ancient sects after discussion. Naturally, the black-clothed elder recognized it. Even he himself had a token of the Dark Palace's elder. This was for the convenience of the ancient sects when they went out to do things. It was to prevent the flood from rushing into the Dragon King's temple and not recognizing one family member. Thus, Elder Black-Clothed didn't doubt it anymore. Although he was unwilling, he still respectfully returned the token to Tian Dai and cupped his fists. Elder Black-Clothed of the Dark Palace greets young Master Tian. Since young Master Tian has intervened, I'll leave first. Chapter 2951. Wait, who said you could leave? Tian Dai's tone was cold as she blocked the elder and Qibing's path. Young Master Tian, since you're interfering, can't we leave? Why are you stopping us? The black-robed elder frowned. Could it be that the heavenly silkworm transformation still wanted to pursue the matter? Kneel down and apologize to him. Tian Dai pointed at Lin Yi and said coldly to the elder. You. After hearing Tian Dai's words, the black-clothed elder's face suddenly turned red. He never thought that the heavenly silkworm transformation would make him kneel to a rogue cultivator. What kind of humiliation was this? Didn't you hear me? Tian Dai frowned. She'd been imitating Tian Chan all this time. Tian Chan's silkworm transformation in Sky Elixir sect had always been cold and ruthless. This was the image that the outside world recognized, but Tian Dai didn't know that Tian Chan had a soft side too. Young Master Tian, don't go too far. We, the Dark Palace, are in the wrong for interfering with the prize of the Sky Elixir sect's test, but we're all from the ancient times, we'll see each other all the time. You want me to kneel to a junior freelancer? Did I hear that right? The elder said angrily, we, the Dark Palace, are not pushovers. Kneel, Tian Dai only said 2 words. Zhao Qibing, let's go. Let's see what he can do. The elder waved his sleeves and was about to pull Qibing away forcefully. As far as he was concerned, even a Sky-class late-phase peak master wouldn't attack silkworm transformation for no reason. The black-clothed elder didn't even see how the silkworm transformation was used before Qibing's arm fell off. If you don't kneel, I don't mind helping you with your broken legs. Tian Dai said faintly, I heard that your training is called 1,000 legs? Using a broken leg to cultivate? However, I might break it more thoroughly and directly cut off both of your legs. After that, I wonder if you can still cultivate 1,000 legs? With that, Tian Dai pointed her finger, and a fireball shot out from her hand, landing on Qibing's severed arm on the ground, turning it into ashes immediately. My arm. Zhao Qibing looked at his arm that had turned into ashes. His eyes rolled back and he fell to the ground. He had been fantasizing about bringing his arm back to the hospital to reattach it, but now, his arm had turned to ashes. What the hell was he supposed to do? In the future he would be a crippled one-armed man. How could Zhao Qibing not faint at the thought? Although he was an expert in leg techniques as a cultivator, losing an arm was a fatal injury. Cold sweat dripped down from the black-clothed elder's forehead. The rumors were indeed correct. The heavenly silkworm transformation was a tyrannical and ruthless person. Although he looked like an elegant young master, the rumors of him using beauties as cultivation furnaces were most likely true. From his methods, it could be seen that he was a vicious and merciless person. What kind of fire is this? How can it have such high temperature? Is this refinement fire? The elder asked in shock, but he was confused. No, this shouldn't be refinement fire. How can refinement fire be so powerful? At this time, Lin Yi looked at the handsome young man in front of him in shock. He almost blurted out, "Forging fire." This beautiful young man in white was actually using the forging fire. The forging fire can actually be used as a martial skill? How could it have such high temperature? It could even burn a cultivator's body to ashes? However, although Lin Yi was confused, he couldn't say it out loud. The sudden appearance of silkworm transformation made Lin Yi very puzzled, even more puzzled than Yui's appearance yesterday. It was understandable that Yui was related to Yuning, but what about silkworm transformation? Lin Yi believed that silkworm transformation was here because of his relationship with Kang Ming, but it was a bit unrealistic that silkworm transformation was here to help him. Could it be that silkworm transformation said that he was here to protect the fairness of the Sky Elixir sex trial? This was a bit unbelievable, wasn't it? Looking at silkworm transformation in front of him, he seemed to have seen him before, but he didn't seem to have seen him at all. Lin Yi racked his brain to think if he had met this handsome young man before. However, Lin Yi was disappointed to find that there was no such person in his memory. As familiar as it was, Lin Yi really didn't know who silkworm transformation was. He couldn't be blamed, however, since Tian Chan was a girl in male attire. Tian Chan looked similar to Tian Chan, and even more so in male attire, but they were two different people after all. It was normal that Lin Yi couldn't recognize Tian Chan after so many transformations. "You want to try?" Tian Dai asked coldly. "No. I don't want to." The elder stuttered, his face pale. Zhao Qibing was an Earth class early phase, and though he was an Earth class late phase peak, in front of silkworm transformation he was nothing more than a piece of cake. The problem was that silkworm change seemed to be in the right this time, but the problem was that they were strong. Even if the other ancient sects knew that silkworm change was making a big deal out of nothing, no one dared to say anything. This was a super ancient sect. Who would be willing to stand up for a weak dark palace? "That depends on your performance," Tian Dai said. The black-clothed elder's face turned from white to red, but in the end he still endured the mental struggle and knelt on the ground with a plop. He said to Tian Can, "Young sect master Tian, please forgive me. I came here on the orders of the Grand Supreme Elder. I was wrong. I don't dare to interfere with the Heavenly Elixir sect anymore. It's not me, it's him." Tian Dai pointed at Lin Yi. She didn't have any other reaction towards the elder's actions. "Lin Yi, young master Lin, I was wrong, I'm sorry, I won't do it again, please say something." The elder knew that this wouldn't end if Lin Yi didn't say anything. He didn't know why silkworm transformation had to ask for Lin Yi's opinion, but he had to do it no matter what. Chapter 2952. Yes. Elder He nodded like a chick pecking at rice. Everyone else looked on curiously at this dramatic scene, especially Old Pai and the others. They didn't know why Silkworm was doing this. If it was for the fairness of the Sky Elixir School, then they could have just punished Elder He. There was no need to ask or care about Lin Yi's feelings. But now it seemed like Lin Yi was the main character? Could it be that the Sky Elixir School was purposely showing that they were the participants? So that more trial takers would trust them and participate in the next Heavenly Elixir trial? "Since Lin Yi has forgiven you, then I'll let it go this time," Tian Dai warned. "Don't do it again." "Yes, young Master Tian, don't worry." Elder Black-Clothed quickly promised as he pulled Qibing up from the ground. Qibing was missing an arm, but as long as he had a leg, it wouldn't affect his 1,000 legs training. "Young Master Tian, I'll be leaving now. Wait." Tian Dai once again spat out two words that caused the black-clothed elder's heart to palpitate. "Young Master Tian, is there anything else?" Elder He asked carefully. "You're fine, but he's not. He hasn't kneeled yet," Tian Dai said. "He's just my disciple, he has nothing to do with this, right? Besides, he's already fainted," Elder He said helplessly. "Earlier, weren't the two of you together?" Tian Dai asked instead. "But, all right." Elder He had no choice but to slap the back of Qibing's neck, waking him up. Master, save me." Qibing cried out in fear as soon as he woke up. "Stop yelling, kneel down and apologize to Lin Yi, and then I'll take you away." Elder He didn't want to stay in this embarrassing place any longer. Although the people from the Palace of Darkness were good at changing the direction of the wind and being shameless, it still didn't look good. "Ah." Qibing froze as he looked at the elder in confusion. "Kneel to Lin Yi? To him? We're from an ancient sect." "I'm already kneeling, why aren't you kneeling? Why are you talking so much nonsense?" The black-clothed elder said angrily. "Hurry up." Zhao Qibing was a little confused, but when he noticed Tianye's cold gaze, he shivered in fear. Although he was unwilling, he still knelt in front of Lin Yi. This humiliation made Zhao Qibing want to die. He was already a disciple of an ancient sect. Why did he have to kneel down to Lin Yi, a freelancer who had lost to the hidden house Zhao? This contrast was driving him crazy. In the morning, he'd come to Lin Yi's place in high spirits, thinking that he'd be able to turn Yushu into Miss Cripple in front of Lin Yi. Who would have thought that he'd become a one-armed cripple instead? I'm sorry, I was wrong. Qibing almost cried. Although he admitted defeat in front of Lin Yi before, things were different now. At that time Lin Yi was strong and he was just a weakling. But now he was a master and Lin Yi was an injured person, but he still had to apologize. This was too much. He looked at the arrogant Zhao Qibing kneeling in front of him, and then at the green face of the black-clothed elder who didn't dare say anything, and then at the indifferent face of the silkworm transformation, as if he didn't care about anything at all. Lin Yi finally understood one thing. If he wanted to make his voice heard in the world of the strong, he had to be stronger. Having a strong backing was the biggest source of confidence for Sky Silkworm transformation. Although the Dark Palace also had Heaven-class late-phase peak masters, they definitely didn't have as many as Sky Elixir sect. This was why Sky Silkworm transformation dared to point fingers in front of the black-clothed elder. No matter how strong he was, he couldn't do it without a strong force. If his followers were all Sky-class masters and formed a force comparable to the ancient sects, would Dark Palace still dare to act like this? Of course, even if Lin Yi understood this, it wouldn't help right now. Compared to the ancient sects, Lin Yi lacked a strong foundation. If Lin Yi didn't increase his own strength, he wouldn't be able to increase his followers' strength. This was a classic example of a man ascending to the heavens, unlike the ancient sects who had many talents and many ways to increase their strength. With that thought, Lin Yi knew that he was being too impatient, stepping into the ancient level too early. He was only in Earth-class late phase, and although he could kill Sky-class mid-phase, that was still Earth-class late phase. If he was Sky-class and knew how to concoct Chi-gathering pill, then his followers would be Sky-class early phase as well. Would Dark Palace still dare to act like this then? The thrill from fighting higher levels, it made Lin Yi lose himself, ignoring the restriction of his strength level. It made Lin Yi feel that as long as he could kill higher-leveled enemies, his level didn't matter. But that wasn't the case. Increasing one's true strength was the way to go. Young Master Tian, is this okay now? The black-clothed elder waited for Qibing to apologize before asking. Hand over the pills in your hands to Lin Yi, it's an apology. Then you can leave. Tian Dai said. What? Our Chi-gathering pill? Why do we have to hand it over? The black-clothed elder was completely hysterical. Silkworm transformation was pressuring him and he finally exploded. We've already apologized, why do we have to hand over our own things? Don't you Sky Elixir sect want to maintain fairness? That belongs to us, why do we have to hand it over? You made a mistake, and if it's just an apology then I'll kill you and apologize to Dark Palace, okay? Tian Dai said expressionlessly. You can refuse, but there's no more Chi-gathering pill. This is my decision, not a single third-level pill. What? There's no more Chi-gathering pill? The black-clothed elder's expression calmed down. The Chi-gathering pill was for one to increase her strength. How could there be no more? If there was no more, the Grand Elder would kill him when he returned. With that thought, the black-clothed elder had no choice but to take out a small box from his pocket and throw it in Lin Yi's direction. All right. We'll give you the Great Recovery Pill.